little bit of a different situation.
A different situation, and you ain't putting up with that. That's Biddy right there.
What up, Biddy? Yeah.
What up, Biddy? It's gonna be different. It's different. And like I said, I just wish I could, if I was in the position to be able to go, yo, fuck them. Quit. Do it now. I wish, bro. I wish. And I'm working towards it, but I ain't nowhere near close to there yet. I gotta move pieces in place to get shit to work. You know what I'm saying? Also, when you have what's the word I'm looking for? When you have other people whose interests are entwined in it, you have to make sure everybody's on the same with the approach and with the how shit's supposed to be done, right? Like, what up, McKenna? Because at the end of the day, consistency and frequency of production matters. Like, we dropped an issue in August, maybe a little before August. It's March.
It is March.
My whole priority is to get to a point where we're going bang.
Bang, bang, bangity bang. A bang, bang, bangity bang.
That's it.
Bang. But it's just conveyor belt shit.
Conveyor belt shit. Just or at least in the short term, more frequently than we're doing now.
Sure.
So that's why I feel like I wish
hatches.
We were supposed to run this Kickstarter in December.
Right.
But things happened. So we're here now, but now that we're here, I want to get, so right after this, we do another one maybe in May.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then at the May, we do maybe another one in July. Right. And at the July, maybe we do another one in September. Give it a little space in between, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see if we can accomplish it. Certain things that held us back should be getting ready to be done soon. So that will no longer be an issue, and they should be able to go.
What up, Jonathan?
What up, Jonathan? Bing, 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 bing. Because one, the company needs that, and two, the fans deserve that. The people that's reading the book, they deserve to be able to count on, here it is, and bang, and they get through the story. Get through it. You know what I'm saying? We owe it to them. I looked at Justice League's comic books from 2018 to current. Nigga, they dropped like 75 comic books.
Mm-hmm.
70. So that shows you the scale we talking about. And I was having a conversation with Graydon about why DC can't be my favorite. I like DC, but they can't be my favorite. The reason they can't be my favorite is because I defy most DC people to tell me what is the current continuity in DC with Justice League, Superman, Batman. The reason they'd be hard pressed to do that is because DC over the years has learned to favor hard reboots way too often and hard retcons way too often.
After they said they was going to stop,
they continue to do so. Now, for me, this does not absolve Marvel, except to say Marvel typically does soft reboots and soft retcons, which for them does not entail wiping out all that history, to try to recraft a new one. Instead, what they do is they typically lean towards adding. So that time period, like take the Century, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say none of that stuff in the past didn't happen. They added Century and then said, oh yeah, he caused everybody to forget who the fuck he was. So he didn't know. But all the history of them other characters was still the same. They just inserted this in. Or with Gore the God Butcher. All of Thor's history is still intact. It's the same shit. They added an incident in his vast history which of course you can do because nobody, well, Travis, because nobody can account for every day, every week, every year, and 1,000 or so years.
Also like the Null situation, the King and Black.
Facts.
They took all the established lore of the what the fuck?
Venom.
I can't remember what their name.
Oh,
is.
I can't remember the name either.
Clintar. Yeah, they took all the established lore of the Clintars, changed a little bit of it, but expanded.
Yeah. So it for me, that is a great way to do it and not piss off your long-term readership.
Also happened to be a good story.
Oh, and that's the other thing. So this is where I give DC mad props.
Yeah.
DC routinely gets great writers and they roll the dice with these great writers and get great stories, even if the continuity might be a little suspect. The story itself, this is dope. The dialogue, Mike is ass. The dialogue, just the overall placement of events in the story, the way it unrolls and unfolds. Like, they nail it. I enjoy them, but I also think, damn, but this fucks up the continuity with this. What up, Bo Flex? Or this don't really connect to this.
Back to the shit.
Yeah,
I can't see the comments.
You can't see the comments again? Something going on over there.
It happens every week.
Yeah,
and I realized last week that when I didn't refresh it, it caught up eventually. So
it did. Okay,
I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is that's why DC can't be my favorite. I love the characters over there. They have amazing, iconic story arcs and all of that, but the continuity is just. And listen, Marvel also has great story arcs. Also has great stories.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, and iconic events that took place. So, if I'm going to judge the two, for me, I'm going to go with the one with the continuity that isn't as jacked up. Because there's parts of Marvel's continuity that's
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to keep track of
that.
Yeah, it's hard
and stuff like that. Yeah.
What up, Gray? Yeah. It's hard to keep track of that shit.
Can I get my comments? Can I get my StreamYard? What we doing?
I'm about to get on the phone with the StreamYard dude now.
Nigga.
To fix their shit. Something going on over there. But I don't know, all these new features they added to StreamYard.
They doing big things. They're doing big things.
Yeah, so sometimes you got to break something.
Yeah, I ain't totally upset with them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Fat A. See, I feel like in order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, and that shit.
That's literally that's the only one. Yeah, eggs have to be broken in order for an omelet to.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if you're not the one that broke it.
Even if you're not the one that broke it,
eggs have to be broken.
Yeah. Right. It's crazy, but it is what it is with that. But it'll always be. I can say my favorite, of course, comic book universe now is, of course, Majestic's comic book omniverse, of course. Shit that I'm creating, you know what I'm saying? Shit that I got a hand in putting together, right?
Come on now.
It just makes sense to be that way, right? And just like what's going to wind up happening, I already know it, is when your universe gets them, that'll be another favorite. It'll probably replace Image or what's these things. It's not. Look, this is just suspected. I don't expect it from nobody else to be that way, but this is good. It's my favorite shit. And it's cool to be able to have your hands on some shit to right some wrongs that you feel that other companies may have made. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's the entire reason I started my symbiote story. Now, if I had waited until after King and Black came out, I probably would have never started this story.
Because to me, that repaired a lot of that shit.
Oh, nigga.
That shit repaired a lot of it. And I don't like Nola's supposedly dead, but what's really dead?
Yeah,
it's really. But I feel like
as long as Venom is considered the King and Black,
he'll be dead.
Yeah,
he'll be dead. I feel like Noel is the single best new creation that Marvel did after Gore, because Gore was completely new, but the concept wasn't new. Thor had fought other god butchers and god killers.
That's
before.
funny. Who introduced Gore?
The same motherfucker that introduced No. You know what I'm saying? Same motherfucker introduced No.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
See how that works? So like Gore, but again, No, to me, No was more original, a more original concept.
Which is amazing because it's based off of shit that's been there forever.
Yes. Where Gore, his core concept is not original. Right. Like you had the one guy, the sock, from years ago, who had the exact same. Your ass. No, he was like Mankind. He had a sock. Look, he ran around this motherfucker with the exact same arguments Gore is making.
Yeah. There we go. There go the comments. Hold on. Let me catch up. What up, Mike? What up, Boflex? What up, Greg? All right, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Good. All right, good. But yeah, like he ran around. He had the exact same argument, although a different type of event affected him. You know what I'm saying? That made him do that, go on a rampage like that. It still involved his family. Mm-hmm. All of that. Same shit, except for he was given a weapon.
Yo, Mike is
have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Gore.
Like, yo, like he was given a pendant that allowed him to absorb guard power. When they attacked him with power, he'd absorbed it and all this other shit. They gave Gore a different type of weapon. Mm-hmm. I feel like Gore was much more psychotic.
Yeah.
The sock was like a warrior with big old axe and all. He's going to fight. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill this god. I'm gonna kill this pantheon. I'm gonna do this. Like he was a warrior. Where Gore wasn't so much of a warrior. Gore was more empathetic. He was more empathetic to Gore, because they literally played out the entire thing in the comic book about his kid, dying and his wife dying and his mom dying. They played all that shit out.
See, the thing that connects them is basically Donny Cates did a good version of the shit we be talking about all the time, where a person will come into a conversation with some shit that they want to address.
Yes,
it don't necessarily got much to do with what's going on. There's a thread,
right? There's a thread in there, right?
That's exactly what the fuck he did with Gore and Noel.
Facts, and they came out. They came out awesome, and it's great when you can create new characters from already established IP and histories and shit like that. That shit's fire, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the type of things that I want to do. Like I want to create the sandbox, help create the conditions of the universe. And then let shit play out according to the story. And then once certain arcs run there, of course, there's always aftermath. Mm-hmm. Things that, well, yes,
maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's always something that you can spin off into another story because of this, now this, and that caused this. It all interconnects, but you got to be careful, or you'll fuck around and have small universe syndrome, where things are connecting too much with the same stuff,
right?
And you don't have the expansion of this. And now, just in the abstract universe alone, it's humongous.
Yeah,
we
feel like every 2 to 3 concepts that you add to a universe, you should add at least one character.
Agreed. Facts. Great says creating the physics of a reality is the greatest thing we've ever done. Yeah, like the physics of it, because it's not something like other companies that create these little universes or whatever. They'll play around it or use it when it's necessary. Go, this happens like this in this universe. Like a classic example, there is no Speed Force in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
They never talked about that before, but when it was necessary for them to do that with the crossover and to nerf Flash, there's no Speed Force here, so he can't.
Yeah, you're not going to be as fast as you think you are, sir.
Scarlet Witch's power is crazy in DC because their magic dials go way up this way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they do play games with the physics, but it's only on a need-to basis, where our whole story kind of starts with aspects of physics and shit like that. So it became incumbent upon us to create the physics of that universe and to try to make a theory of everything.
Yeah.
A theory of everything. Basically, the one theory that encompasses all the aspects of why this omniverse does what it does. Why these things are possible here, and how they're connected to creativity, imagination. All those things are substantive things in the omniverse. They're not these just these abstract concepts that humans develop to explain why we tell stories and how we come up with that. No, in our omniverse, these are tangible things. It's like gravity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like electromagnetism. All these are, and we work it into that. And we're going to do a supplemental theory of everything for the Justice Omniverse book as well. And it's going to be fire.
Yeah, it's expansive.
It's going to be expansive and fire. Because two things I'm jealous of when it comes to other comic book companies, like Marvel. Take Marvel, for instance. The Book of Ashanti. And they got this other book about Wakanda's history, its politics, its religious shit. It's like literally this says history. It has maps in that bitch. It has all that shit is fire. The names are different. The different Black Panthers. That shit. The thing.
Mike is a menace. Crazy. Mike must be stopped at all costs. The Ben Shapiro nuclear force.
The weak force.
The weak force.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh,
that's hilarious. God. No, but I'm jealous of them because of that. Like they've been around long enough and have a big enough sandbox where they can take elements of their sandbox and create supplemental shit for the truly yee. For the people, who's like, I'm going to learn Klingon. Fuck you. Where's the Klingon? Those type folks, like,
thanks.
Bro, you got it. My inner geek sings when I see supplemental shit like that. Like, yo, they got a Book of Ashanti, yo. Yo, this is crazy because it makes that universe or that multiverse now. I guess Marvel's multiverse now. That makes that seem like it has weight, substance. Like when they did, this is like next level storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story where Thor was the king of the gods, right? And something was happening with Mjolnir, and this is before they revealed all that shit about the storm inside of it and all of that. Yeah. This is before they revealed all of that. Something was wrong with it. Just wasn't doing what he wanted it to do when he wanted to do it at times. So he's the king of the gods at this point, right? So he was testing it. And he took it and he threw it to Earth. And Tony, saw it. Nobody else could move it, but he wanted to see if somebody could move it, right? Nobody else could move it. Tony found out about it. Iron Man, he gets there and he sees it. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So then Thor does it again, but this time the Avengers were fighting this big dumbass creature, right? And he was getting their ass handed to him. So Thor saw that from Asgard, and he literally threw the hammer all through space and time and all some shit, and hit the creature in the mouth, and it went out through the back, like he did in the first movie with himself. Right. So the creature dies. Tony and them go, ain't that some shit? And before Mjolnir goes to return back, Tony takes a magic marker and writes on there, "Enjoy your retirement." Right? And it flies back, and when Thor sees it, it's like, motherfucker. Now, we're not going to talk about how the markings on there survived the trip into a wormhole.
There's literally no way.
We ain't gonna talk about that right now. We're not gonna talk about that right now. But it made for a good gig, right? Good gig, right? So later on, Thor's testing the hammer again. He throws it down there. When he throws it down there, though, he has Tony's real phone number written on the hammer and shit. So when it lands, people get his phone number. He's calling his ass and calling his ass. And he hated it. Well, Marvel saw fit to go.
They made that real.
Make that number real. That's a real number. And when you call it, it's gonna have an answering. Tony's answering service is gonna pick up. It's gonna be Tony's voice, and he's gonna. I was like, yo, that's tough.
Yes,
that's dope. That's just another level of storytelling right there, of bringing that universe to life. Facts. So I want to do shit like that. Yeah, that shit sounds fun. Yeah. That shit sounds engaging. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I guess we can get it started. Although it's almost 20 minutes after 11, so I guess no need for an intro.
Yeah, I guess.
How much stuff? Yeah, that's for real. That's actually for real. Oh, bro, I'm about to talk about that now. We'll start it now, and then we can bring you in. You want to bring him in? Because he loves the goddamn.
Yeah, I know. Right. That's his shit.
Yeah.
What up, Cindy?
What up, Cindy? This. Yeah, I want.
Yeah, Mike. I think it's been discontinued now.
Yeah, I don't think
it was a thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's still around, but it might be though, because
it may be.
When I called it, that story had been around for a little minute. But I'm out around and calling that shit, so maybe check it.
Yeah, I'm about to check it.
So what like, do you have a whole bunch to talk about your week?
I had a week.
You had a week. Oh, you had one of them. It was one of them. All right. So
no, actually, I'm joking. No.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, hold up. I'm going to send Gray the link, but first I'm going to talk about my misgivings with some of you motherfuckers about this shit. All right. So we play, we laugh, we kiki.
Dial is not in service. Please check the number and dial again, or dial 611.
Oh, they took it down. That sucks.
They took it down.
That sucks. I guess they didn't want to pay for it. They didn't want to pay for it. Cheap bastards. I could have kept that up. But hey, I was saying, we play, we laugh, we kiki. All that is okay. It really is. But with some shit, it's time for grown-ass people to stop playing kids' games on these social media platforms.
I mean, yeah, for certain things.
Certain things. Not everything, but certain things. Come on. And then earlier this week, I got to see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer. Matter of fact, I watched it for the first time with Graydon, right? Graydon had already seen it, though. But I had already seen conversations about it beforehand in these different comic book groups. And it also reminded me of why I have deleted myself from various comic book groups, because the level of stupidity going on there, I can't even really enjoy being around, that fandom as much, because people are just fucking annoying. In my opinion of it, honestly, I thought it was dope. And mind you, this is coming from somebody who was way too old and surly to relate to that sanitized version of the Turtles that came out on TV with the pizza fetish and all the overall goofiness. I just couldn't get into that version of it. That wasn't for me. And just like you would imagine, inevitably, the same bullshit arguments arise again. People complaining about a character, in this case, April, being race swapped.
Yeah.
Now I was telling SPJ earlier, I had a whole other approach to this conversation I was going to take about the original character design of her being Asian, but named after an African-American woman that one of the creators knew, or the one account where she started off being inspired by one of the creators' ex-girlfriends who happened to be mixed, or about how nobody raised the eye. If either one of those first things is true, nobody raised the eye at her being turned white and later iteration.
Correct.
but now they have their asses on their back about her not being white, and what that shows me about them. I was going to do the whole spill on that, but this morning I decided to nix all of that bullshit. They get to the core reason why this conversation is completely fucking dumb, and it's simple. That IP doesn't belong to you, just because you consume that shit.
Yeah, that's a very, very accurate.
Now, bro, listen,
that's a very accurate statement.
I'm gonna speak for me in this case. The only thing I care about is the story and how it's executed.
Hey,
all of that other ancillary shit has its place in the enjoyment part of it, right? But it isn't going to make me like a shitty story. If all that ancillary shit is where it need to be, but the story's shitty, I'm not fucking with that. I'm not fucking with it, right? So now, just imagine, give an example. Imagine, if you will, a restaurant that you go to all the time, and you love the food. You do. And you dig the restaurant design. Makes you feel good when you go in there. And you've been going there for a lot of years, and you just love the overall experience, right?
Yeah.
But one day, you go to your favorite restaurant and discover that they remodeled the place.
Ooh.
And it doesn't look the same at all.
Ooh.
And you hate the new redesign.
Furious.
From the curtain to the chairs.
Oh.
From the lighting to the stairs.
Huge.
This is a problem. You hate it. You hate it.
Your core.
Your core. It really makes you sick. But you
know what it also makes?
What's that?
No difference.
No difference. So you sit down, you decide to order, right? And the waitress comes with the menus, and you discover that the items on the menu are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you order your favorite. It comes out in the same reasonable amount of time as usual, and it tastes delicious.
Delightful.
Everything that you remembered. Now, me, I may hate the new design, but as long as the food and the service is still what I expect, I couldn't give a fuck about how the curtains and the chairs look.
Okay.
But that's just me. Now, you may decide the new design is a deal breaker, and you'll never go there again. You know what? I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Do you, or in this case, don't you? Whatever.
Well, whatever. These quesadillas is still delicious, my guy.
Right. But what ain't finna gonna happen or get my respect or time is to see you over there arguing with the manager or the owner of the restaurant and insisting they change the decor back because it offends your sensibilities.
Right.
You look dumb.
Yeah.
Entitled. Super obsessed and ignorant. Look, if you don't like the place because they changed the way it looked, don't eat there anymore.
Facts.
Spare the rest of us your stink pieces and wasted breath
That's
rhetoric.
Hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Because the food and the service is still dope. And that's all I care about. You own nothing, little man. And maybe that's your solution. Open up your own restaurant and do it your way. And you never have to worry about those mean old curtains, chairs, lighting, or stairs again. And with that, sirs, I bring in Grave Extropia.
Hell.
Hey, what a monologue. Peace to the geese.
Peace.
Hell.
What up, family? How you guys doing?
What's going on? Chilling.
It's another Saturday morning of kikis, ha-has, and guffaws.
And caca.
And caca.
Well said, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, bro. I mean, it's how I feel. From my personal preference, that trail is amazing.
Well, I want to see what you guys thought about it first. Like,
I mean,
what did you think, SBJ?
I like. Here's the thing. I love the hits. I love the hits.
You love the hits.
They're the hits for a reason.
Yeah, facts.
And particularly someone with my particular neurodivergence, I have a thing where I will often consume things that I've consumed before because there's no anxiety there.
There's no anxiety there, right?
You don't have to worry about potentially not liking something.
Wasting
you don't have
time
to worry
on
about
episodes.
You ain't gotta worry about all that shit. But what I also enjoy is when they the royal they make changes to things that make sense. Because we've never gotten a mainstream adaptation of the Turtles where they're this kind of teenager.
Right.
And it's in the fucking name. It's like something that you didn't think you necessarily wanted. Like you weren't against it. You never thought to want it, but it makes total. It's like it's obvious once it happens.
Yeah,
I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. I loved the trailer. Like
I thought the trailer was so dope. I liked the pacing. That's a big thing with me with trailers. Pacing. The way they added the humor. Like I'm a snob when it comes to certain type of humor. Like, fuck out of here with that. Yeah. No, this was actually funny and fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to see that. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. Like, fuck that.
To BJ's point, the teenage aspect.
Your audio is acting a little wonky.
Yeah, it's a little wonky.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Is it me? Ooh, okay.
I don't know if this is the same for everybody else that's listening though.
Mic check 1 2. Any better?
It's still odd.
It's odd. It's unusually odd for your type of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. All right. Well, let me hop out and hop back in real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good.
Yeah, all good. All good.
As much as my audio fucks up.
Nigga, right. You can't be the one.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like looking at it, I was like, okay, the design changes, I'm cool with. The attitude changes. Again, like I said, they make sense. Like
it's in the name. It's
the first word.
Right.
So like
first word.
I can't find a way to be now. I'll talk about this that I talked about before because while we're waiting for Gray. McKenna.
Yeah, we know
I don't care for race swapping at all. I don't care whose race is swapping to whose race.
Right.
I want new characters.
Right.
I want new stories. But I would be lying if I said it bothered me when characters are made black.
Right. Right.
Because what the fuck? Like, I don't, unless the story dictates that they should be white, then I can't. Like,
history of the character does matter. Like,
yes, absolutely.
So if the character initially, was, the story hinges on the ethnic background. It literally is the context for which this character's entire storyline unfolded. That's an issue.
I don't want to see a Jewish Black Panther.
Right.
I don't want to see.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't want to see an original Black Captain America.
Right.
Like,
right.
That story doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I also don't want to see a Asian Iron Fist. Because that's not the point of that. That is not the point of that story. Literally, him being the fish out of water to a culture that's foreign to him is even part of the story.
Even better than the Black Captain America. I don't want to see a German Captain. Like that wouldn't have worked with the story.
It might have.
His existence.
It might have worked. I'm gonna tell you why I think it might have worked, right? Because America's supposed to be a place for immigrants.
Yes, they could have.
He could have literally been somebody that came over here, hated his home country was ass.
Absolutely,
and he comes over here and he has a respect for America. And
we did not get that type of nuance.
We did not.
Back then. It would not have worked. Somebody would have fucked that up royal.
He would have just would have had the shield and been going Achtung, and that's all they would have did. That's all they would have did. What? That's all they would have did. That's true.
You guys hear me okay?
Better.
Say again. It's better.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check.
It's better.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's definitely better. Now with say it again.
Is it still?
Oh yeah, that's better.
That's better.
All right, what were you saying?
Oh no. I was just saying, just to lean in on your point from earlier. I know I'm a little bit boomeranging back to this point, but the teenage aspect of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is something that, like you said, I never knew that I needed in my life.
Right.
I thought it was like, this makes perfect sense. Why have we never seen this before? Every incarnation of the Turtles, even though they're supposed to be 15 years old, they seem like they've been 25.
They seem like college students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least junior college. You know?
Right.
You know.
Facts.
Overall, though, you are probably one of the biggest TMNT fans that I know. What was your level of excitement like?
So obviously, like you guys, I keep my ear to the stone real quick, and I try to listen in on some of the cultural conversations that are going on about, geek culture, right? Because there is a dividing line where we find things that represent us, and for us, it's a big deal, right? So I had heard about that before I had seen the trailer like Tombstone, but then I had saw it, and I had to separate my feelings on that nonsense with my fandom of, because I'm already a super TMNT.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to receive that criticism like, okay, anybody who's making any comments about this race aspect of April O'Neil has obviously never seen the source material. You've never seen it.
Yeah.
You just tell me you've never read 84 Turtles without telling me you've never read 84 Turtles. Because that's basically what you're telling me.
Yeah.
You never read the source material. In fact, if I was to go a step further, the original source material of the Turtles was rated R.
Yes.
A single story. It was a Ninja Clan revenge story.
Yes.
And the idea that, this character, which really didn't play that much of a bigger role in the greater telling of the Ninja Clan revenge story, I just feel like it's the selective outrage that we expect.
It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Pun intended.
Pun intended.
So outrage that we've come to accept. And I finally, before I turn it back to you guys, I'll say this. The quality of the animation, and
oh my goodness,
I heard about it for the first time on you guys' show, actually, which was when you guys talked about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It was way back.
Yeah.
But I remember you guys talking about the quality of the animation.
Yeah.
There's going to be new movies that are going to lean on that. So we're seeing it now. We're seeing that influence. And I never thought we would see that go mainstream.
Right.
But, yo, that's about to go mainstream.
It is,
that shit
bro.
is incredible.
It's so ill.
Oh.
Yo, this is one of the few times you'll hear me say this. But this is a really great time to be alive.
I can't stand you. I don't like you.
I'm just saying, bro. Like I like and again, this is the part of it for me where I lean into the actual content as opposed to the community around the content, because they will fuck up the experience for you. If they not out there spoiling the story when it come out and shit, then they're fucking up the build up, the hype train with this bullshit. That's why I lean into the content, bro, because it's sad. I remember a time not that long ago, right, when all of us was united. Well, most of us was united with excitement over Endgame. Oh shit!
No, yeah.
Oh shit!
Were we?
And, yeah.
When they first,
before it came out,
because
Infinity War was so good.
Infinity War, we were
right.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that after Infinity War, I was either excited or saddened because I knew the beginning of the end was near. I recognized as Marvel was not going to be
right
coming into the future. Not to say it was bad, but I knew this team that we were
going to be different.
It was going to be different. And
and I feel you with that, because there's a certain familiarity that comes with those first phases. These are characters that are well known, for the most part, have become iconic at this point, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh fuck." Thanos usually mean anytime Thanos is involved in any fucking thing,
death.
There's some death that's going to be involved. Any kind of thing, there's some death that's going to be involved, right? So that could mean the end of some of the characters we've grown to love and got accustomed to seeing and all that other shit. But the excitement for me was I never thought we would ever get to this point with the movies, especially with a story like the Infinity Saga.
Right.
Like that if you'd have told me that shit in fucking 2007, hell no, I'm gonna say 2009 when the first Iron Man came out.
Iron Man was
I
out.
Still wouldn't have believed we would have got to do an Infinity Saga, right?
Right.
So for me, I got to see how this cliffhanger, even though in the beginning it's gonna be some shit because you saw how it ended. Some of your people not gonna be there. They're not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be there. But somewhere when it comes to certain IP, there's this disconnect amongst the community of fans, and it gets really toxic.
Oh shit! Wait, hold on. You just mentioned the point about knowing that something's fucked up is about to happen. That was aided by that dream sequence in Age of Ultron.
Facts.
It's a better movie than people give it credit.
Yo, listen, I watched it again maybe a month ago. I think when it comes to these type of movies,
Jonathan.
What did you say? I didn't even see the cover.
50-50 with Thanos.
Death is 50-50 with Thanos. Yeah, facts. Facts. I think too, a lot of times these movies, when they come out it depends on what they come out with or around. The context of the other movies there. Like there could be movies that came out that are just demonstrably to your taste better than that movie. That does not make the movie bad necessarily. It's just that you still are making that comparison.
Absolutely true. I don't think Age of Ultron is horrible. I think it was disappointing.
Yep, that's what it was.
Disappointing?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why.
Movie?
No. I don't dislike the movie.
Right.
I think it was disappointing. Now some of that is explained in hindsight,
right?
Because the studio and Joss were having issues, and
they
ended up changing a lot of what his original vision was. But the point of that being, his original vision, I don't think was necessarily great, and because it was going to his head a little bit.
Yeah,
the fact that he was the Marvel's guy. Yeah,
and we found out how much of an asshole he was.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of
shit. But they didn't know that at that point.
Piece of shit.
He's the Rick Berman of.
Yeah. But I think when you.
Part of the criticism, some of the criticisms was over Ultron's personality. Period.
Yeah.
The way his personality was displayed in the movie. Now, I get the logic of what they were doing. This was created by Tony Stark. Tony is a snarky, sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? He's a dick, and so Ultron basically is the child of Tony. Right. So he's got that same type of snarky, avant-garde, irreverent, whatever. It's just darker. Right? So I get the logic behind that, but a lot of that had to do with Ultron did not feel as menacing for a lot of people as they wanted him to feel.
It was this one of the reasons it was disappointing to me is because Ultron was supposed to have been a medium bad at least.
Yeah, he's a medium.
He ended up being a small bad.
I heard that too. I heard that criticism too.
And that's why I think I understand the term that you're using, disappointing, as opposed to not liking it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't dislike it.
Okay.
It's a lot of good things in that movie.
Yeah.
Coming after the original Avengers movie, I mean, that's one of the great movies of all time.
Yeah.
You know, that's a hard act to follow.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And it gets props too for a lot of reasons. One, we can all say, right, that those opening phases, there was a lot of missteps.
Absolutely.
And Avengers, that movie is what saved that franchise, because Thor 1,
shit.
Captain America 1,
bullshit.
Pretty good.
Boring as fuck. The most boring MCU of all time. It took me Graves.
Great in that movie.
I'm not saying that there weren't
individual, right.
Absolutely there were. I loved what Chris Evans did in that movie.
Me too.
I loved what Tommy Lee Jones did.
It was the pacing for me.
I loved what Hugo Weaving did in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
But that was the most boring.
It was the pacing.
It took me 4 times to watch that movie all the way through because I kept falling asleep. Like literally. And since I finished watching it, I only went back once. And the reason I went back was so I could watch the Captain America trilogy all together.
Right, all over again. Right.
Yeah, I only went back.
Is it Winter Soldier? No.
Absolutely.
No.
Whoa.
It ain't Civil War.
No, Gray.
It ain't too much that's Winter Soldier, bro.
No. I cannot let an understatement like that go by. They're not playing the same sport.
Nah.
They're not.
Nah. One is croquet. One is croquet.
One is okay. The other one is epic. The other one shaped the entire future of the MCU. We didn't get genre movies.
We didn't get genre movies before that. Exactly. We did not get genre films before that.
Is it still to you guys the best Marvel movie that's ever been made?
It's hard for me.
It's hard for me too because Guardians
because of how they have changed. Yeah,
they have
like
changed
scale. I think scale really fucks with me when I try to do things like that because the scale for Winter Soldier was very small. It was contained.
Yeah, self-contained.
And when you look at Guardians 1, when you look at what the fuck they pulled off with Infinity War,
crazy.
Like it kind of it clouds my judgment.
But for me, I'm gonna tell you, it's still to me in my top 5 of Marvel movies because when you watch that, one thing you come away with is y'all know how to make movies now.
Yeah,
y'all know how to make movies now. Cause when I hear the theme music,
bro,
I get the butterflies.
Wait,
when I hear the
you know what?
music.
I got my answer.
Okay.
Yes. Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie of all time. The reason I say that is because I just talked about scale. What I can't forget is impact. There is no more impactful movie for what the MCU has become than Winter Soldier. Yeah. Think about it. That's when we first got the Russos.
Bro, that's also when they neutered Shield. Shield was such this big overarching thing. A rich stepdaddy to the superheroes, right? And then they come to find out the rich stepdaddy's a pedophile. So now he ain't shit. So now you gotta get him the fuck up out of here.
I mean,
so they don't have that. They don't have all those resources, all of that money, all of that. They don't have that no more. That was a big moment.
I don't think there's a single movie since then with the amount and quality of fight sequences.
Oh my God.
Because Cap is a menace with them hands.
First of all, let me tell you something. That's the other thing you learned from Winter Soldier. Cap will beat your ass.
Easily.
He will beat your ass
wholesale.
Beat your ass.
Widow is a menace with
Widow
them
is
hands.
a menace.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Sure. I think this is why I feel like the first movie is one of my personal favorites, but why it works as a good complement to that second movie is because in the first movie it showed that Cap can take a punch.
Yes.
Second movie it shows he can throw.
But don't get me wrong. I think Cap 1 is important.
I think you have to have Cap 1. You have to have Cap 1.
I think Cap 1 is extremely important. I just will never watch it again.
For me, it was the pacing, especially in the early parts of it. It was the pacing.
It was slow as fuck, man.
Yeah, the pacing is slow.
You get early Captain Carter. You get what's Tony's father's name?
Fucking no. What's his father's name?
But you get
it escapes me.
Great. I thought the casting for his father was
very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
As a matter of fact, he's in the TV, the series they had. He's in that particular actor still playing Tony's father is in the series, Agent Carter, Agent Carter series.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't watched it either. And I definitely keep telling myself I'm gonna go back and binge and watch that shit. But I haven't done it yet because there's been so much other shit to binge and watch. You know what I'm saying? Look, it took me a minute to go back to watch, start binging Smallville. Because it was hard for me to look at the girl Chloe the same after the bullshit, after the sex cult, her leading girls to the cult leader. That shit,
that was her.
That was her. It was hard for me to look at her again, bro.
Paperwork. Oh yeah.
It was hard for me to see innocent Chloe after knowing that. Like,
Howard Stark.
Howard Stark.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you. It's nice to have geeks in the
facts.
Have you guys talked about the Flash trailer?
Did we? I don't think we
No.
talked about the Flash trailer.
I don't really want anything to do with.
I know you don't, because of Urza.
Yeah,
It's Urza.
Oh, is that he's still in it? But aren't they doing this to reset the whole thing? So
yes, but he's still in it. He's still
in
the,
it.
the star of
He's
the
the
movie.
focus, and
He
then
plays more than one character. He
I told myself I'm waiting for that to come on HBO.
Yeah,
Max.
100%.
I'm waiting for that to come on.
I'm not
HBO
going
Max.
to the movie,
but I did like the trailer. I thought the trailer was dope, especially the Michael Keaton part. But everybody not gonna have the same feeling for Michael Keaton.
I only saw that part. I saw the I'm Batman. I saw that.
That shit was fire.
That
Oh,
shit was dope.
I'm sorry.
it was dope.
I'm sorry. Yo,
facts.
and what made it even better for me was one of my biggest issues with the Michael Keaton Batman, even though I love the Michael Keaton Batman, my biggest issues with him is that he looked like he took a couple of lessons at the YMCA for karate.
That's funny.
And he didn't look like Batman is this talented fighter, right?
Right.
They never showed that side of him in those movies, but in the trailer, not only did you get the classic iconic I'm Batman, but you also got that one clip of him swooping down on a motherfucker, picking him up, rock bottoming his ass on the concrete. Like, yo, like, okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for that.
Right.
That was absolutely dope.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, my camera is frozen right now. I'm trying to
I
work
see.
on it, so I'm gonna have to
And it's frozen where you have this look where like a little kid that's just watching his favorite shit for the first
Facts.
time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Cindy got to leave.
About that trailer because I'd seen it the one time. I think it was on maybe it was Super Bowl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only scene I really took from it too was Michael Keaton.
Word.
I like. He had to come out and come back in because the shit froze. He's been having some issues.
I was going to make a whole. Yeah, he might need to restart that PC.
He's been having these issues for a good little minute now, and he's been trying to find things to fix. So it's something else happening over there.
I was actually going to do a TikTok about the whole situation. I had seen the one dude I follow on TikTok, Juju. He's like, he blew the fuck up off of TikTok. He be at all the fucking red carpets, all the premieres and shit, all the screenings. And he went on this fucking, what's the word?
Diatribe.
No, I'm looking for
filling monologue.
No, I'm looking for nigga, almost. He went on this tone deaf, this fucking tone deaf.
Oh damn!
Rant about why this movie needs to come out and all the people's hard work and blah blah this and blah, and people took him to fucking task, and I'm so happy they did. A couple people got through to him. And
okay.
A couple of them were not. They were arguing in good faith. They weren't just like, "Fuck you, you're wrong, you're a piece." Right. No, they weren't on that. They actually like just gave him the facts on the situation.
Right.
Those people have already gotten their money. Those people already have the whatever clout or connections come from doing that movie. What about the victims? What about the people that have been victims of similar things from other people?
Right.
Seeing this piece of shit on the big screen, like I said, playing. In certain times, you'll see two of him on this fucking screen and just broadcast on it. Like he didn't. I like when people do this. He didn't change his. Well, no, he didn't double down.
Okay.
He didn't completely change his mind. He didn't say no. This movie should never come out. No, but he did acknowledge, like, okay, no, you're right. It's not what I made it to seem. Mm-hmm. It's not that these other people need to. No, it's not that. It's okay. The movie's out. Like Gray said, it's going to help issue in the next era.
That's its purpose
and all that. So I'm like, all right. Like I said, I'll watch it when it comes to HBO Max.
I mean, you're talking about everything from physically attacking a fan,
bro,
icing the bar, to leading a cult.
abducting people,
accused of grooming a young girl.
Yeah,
like yo, it's a lot of shit with that, and I think people that try to minimize that as a reason why some people might not want to go see that shit. I think a lot of them don't understand the severity of the things he's done.
Absolutely.
And it's like that's why people are like, yo, this is kind of gross. Like, what the fuck?
And then on top of all that, he's fucking gender neutral, which I fucking hate because now this is one of the fucking representatives or people that they will use, and it's like, why?
Yeah, because for some reason in this country, we think that the worst examples of a group represent the entire group. for some reason, that's what we believe here. The worst example. This is the worst example, and this represents everybody.
That's it. That's what it is.
He or she did it, so I must have done it too because we look alike. I don't know
about the Ezra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
you know what's crazy is I was not in, you know me, I'm not into the DC Arrowverse or anything like that. Like, so I didn't really know of him. What is the other incarnations of Flash that he played?
No, that's the only one.
No, he didn't in the past. In the movie, he's going to be playing two different.
Right.
He's still going to be Flash, but he's going to be in the movie as different characters.
And for the record, I never liked him as Barry Allen Flash anywhere.
Right.
This is the only movie he's ever been Flash?
No. This is the Flash from the movies.
He was Flash in Batman vs Superman. That little clip there. He was Flash from the Justice League.
When he threw when Bruce went to the Batarang and he went and he grabbed it. Okay,
right.
Okay,
yeah, that's him.
Put a face to the guy because everybody's in a mess today.
Right. and that was the other thing. Seeing him so often in this movie, he's going to be on screen so often without his mask.
Yeah.
The Judge Dredd syndrome.
The Judge Dredd.
Yeah, he's not supposed to sing without his mask.
That's funny.
the Mandalorian
thing. Just to segue off of people with bad paperwork and whatnot. Right. I do hope that we get a Dredd sequel.
Oh no,
me too, bro.
That Dredd.
Me too. That shit was fire.
Oh my goodness.
Me too, bro.
Incredible movie. They need to make a sequel. If Constantine gets a sequel and it finally is going to get a sequel, that should definitely go.
Exactly, Biddy. And that unfortunately where we live doesn't treat that shit that way. A criminal is a criminal regardless of any minority group they label themselves. That's a fact.
Exactly. You're a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're a piece of shit and you happen to be.
You happen to be right. And of course it depends on the crime we're talking about, severity.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody that jaywalked. I ain't really talking about that.
Right. It's not that.
We're talking about motherfuckers that's out here victimizing people.
Yeah, like negatively affecting multiple people's lives. Like,
it's really just the bad paperwork shit.
It's the bad paperwork, B. It's bad paperwork. It's shit that'll get you beat up in prison for.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. I was just saying, if we can't be on the same cell block or we can't be in the same unit, that's the bad shit.
Yeah,
like, you happen to punch a motherfucker or you happen to some shit. You John Moran.
Hey, okay. Listen. No, the shit you doing.
Sneak in the John Moran show. What's up, Addy? How you doing?
Yo, what's good? I'm
trying to get Addy?
Trying
to get his camera together.
Yeah,
it's cool. But yeah, like I said,
but like I told you, I did not like him as Barry Allen.
I do.
He would have been better to me as Wally.
That made it worse on a less serious note. That made it so much worse. Like, on top of the fact that he's a piece of shit,
I hated his run.
I actually enjoyed. Well, yeah, I mean, I actually enjoy him as Flash, not necessarily Barry, but
yeah,
Flash.
That's what I'm saying. Like Barry is the more comical one with the jokey joke in that. Barry is a grown ass man that's a forensics scientist and shit that uses all of his science shit before he does something, but the way they used to do it before he found a resolution to how to beat an enemy or some shit, he would go flash fact and then give you a fact about speed, which allows him to do the next thing he's about to do to fuck this dude up. And it's like, yo, that shit was hard.
The funniest thing about it, the underlying joke. He got time.
He got... Yo, what about them scenes in comic books, right? Where a motherfucker is jumping in the air to come down and hit somebody with something, and he literally has an entire monologue.
Yeah,
like okay, you jumped up, but you really only about 10 feet in the air, right?
Right.
You had time to say all this shit before you got hit on the head.
Good writing.
Flash is the only one. Speedsters are the only ones that work with.
But realize that I just thought about this. Most of the quippy motherfuckers are fast.
Facts.
They might not all be speedsters,
but they're all fast. Spider-Man is quippy. Deadpool is quippy.
Robin.
Green Arrow is quippy. Like, just saying. That's funny.
I never thought about that.
And Green Arrow is underrated. He's underrated, very much underrated as far as his hand-to-hand combat skills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I liked what the CW did with that with Stephen Amell, because they showed Stephen Amell beat your ass out here. Beat your ass.
He was the one from You Have Failed the City Arrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He will beat.
Oh, if I'm dating Black Canary, yeah, I'm going to be good at. Yeah.
Because listen.
I'm not going to let her like, yo, you gotta work with. You gotta try.
I be trying to tell people about. I say, yo, Black Canary will walk into a discotheque,
bro,
and beat everybody's ass. Like, yo, she's crazy with it. She's crazy.
Thanks.
And I love in the video game that they represent that, because she's one of my favorite characters in the Injustice game.
Mm.
She's one of my favorite characters to use because her moves are just smooth. They flow, and she'll fuck you up in there.
I'm trying to make sure you guys are referencing the right character that I'm thinking of. But this is the same Black Canary that was in the Young Justice series, who was training all the kids, basically.
Yes.
Who was just whooping their ass.
Yes. Bro. For her.
Oh, I have powers. Okay.
So?
The Superboy.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
She was around with that super. She didn't care.
Not at all.
Because I can fight, but I can. Yo, that reminds me of this dude I went to school with, bro. So the first day of school, he gets into a fight with a nigga named Crank. Now, Crank was not supposed to be in our grade.
Point of order, sir.
Yes.
Crank.
His name. That was
the nigga name.
I'm sure that wasn't his given name, right?
No, I know that.
But yes, we call him Crank, right? That was
okay.
Crank had to be at least 3 years older than the rest of us in the 7th grade. He had to be, yo. So Crank gets into a fight with this other kid that's in his right grade. But this other kid, a tough little motherfucker, right? But he still loses the fight because Crank is like 3 to 4 years older than this little nigga. So he comes back to school the next day, and some girl tried to clown him because his eye was sitting on dubs, right? And his only statement to that was, "But I can still fight." Hey. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong, because it's not like he did horrible against Crank, and he wound up fighting some other niggas later on in that school year. And yeah, he was putting the beats on him. Like, so when you confident that all right, I lost this, I can still fight though.
Facts.
Like, you couldn't do this. You couldn't do to Crank what I did, and you can't do what Crank did to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you talking about?
Like, storytelling is not in a situation where it's not like boxing where you have to go undefeated to get
right exactly.
It's okay. Like, everybody didn't caught an L.
Everybody didn't caught an L.
Good who ain't caught an L. You ain't just missing enough fights.
He ain't been fighting. And nigga ain't been fighting.
Yeah, you just ain't been fighting.
I had an ex-girlfriend tell me she never lost a fight. Now here's the thing. You got to put it in context, though. She was one of the first ones I started dating from outside of the city, from the hood. Where she came from, they ain't out there rumbling like that, my guy. Yeah. They ain't doing that. So when she said that to me, I laughed at her. Right? Yo. She went, "What's so funny?" I was like, I know where you come from. I know where you was raised at. Right. They ain't out there rumbling like that. If you grew up in Emerson Village, if you grew up in Poplar Grove, if you grew up down there on Myrtle Avenue, if you grew up on Monument Street, your win-loss record would have been Spotty, like, because you'd have more fights. Like,
you merely adopted the fisticuffs.
I was born in it. Molded
by
by
it.
What are you talking about? I was on my battle rap shit.
Bruh.
Say that again.
That's one of the great cinematic speeches.
It is. You know what would have made it better? If he hadn't said it like this.
Well, sure. Okay. All right, nigga. All right. We get it. You don't like the accent.
My issue.
No, it's not the accent. It's the mask covering his shit.
Right. Engineer's fault.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. No.
Yes.
1000%. Well, hold up. A combination of audio engineer and the
costume designer.
That's fair. But in post-production, if you can't,
they were some facts.
And him, I'm as the audio engineer say, you know what? This is
do some ADR.
Facts.
No, do some ADR.
Because
they don't have the issue with a person that's wearing a mask. They don't have the issue of the mouth not matching.
Right.
You can't see the fucking mouth.
Can't pull him off another shoot to come in your studio to
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do the ADR because you don't have to worry about syncing the lips.
That's true.
Right.
You just have to worry about syncing his actions.
Right.
Because you can't
but
see.
But I'm always gonna throw a jab at that shit because every single satire that I have seen about that movie.
Oh, they exaggerate the fuck out of it.
It's the one guy that does Batman from that a satire of that Batman. He is the way he does the voice that Batman tried to put on.
Oh my god. Yo, that's the one thing that gets swept under the rug when people talk about that trilogy is that the Batman voice got progressively worse.
It did. It got worse. Because I was good with the one in the first movie.
In Begins?
I was good with that. In Begins, I was good with it. And then somewhere around the second one, it was like what the
because he was going. I feel like because Christian Bale is one of those chameleon / method / I'm in this shit.
Is.
I think he was doing that to try to match some of the energy of Heath.
Ooh.
And then when you come back with a third movie with a fucking Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Who ain't no slouch.
Right. No slouch. So as much as I don't like it,
you kind of get why he was trying to go with it.
I think it was an actor choice.
It probably was the actor's choice to do, but my thing is when you listen to the way Heath Ledger, the way he delivers he didn't need to put he had a rhythm to it. He didn't put so much strain on his shit to get his shit off, right? You know, and again, he was doing something different than what Batman was doing, but at the same time, I get Bale trying to match the energy.
Yeah.
I get that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely
it's like Heath was almost singing.
Yeah, facts.
And like the opposite of that is kind of like chaotic mishmash.
Death metal. That's what he was doing.
Right.
Yo, Bale was doing death metal, yo. He was doing death metal.
Heath was doing classical.
Right.
Bale was doing death metal.
So have you guys had the conversation yet about Bale versus Affleck?
Okay, so this is me. This is my personal opinion. I like Affleck over Bale.
Yeah.
I think Affleck was an amazing Batman. He was amazing as Batman and amazing as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
My issue, and it wasn't so much in the first Batman Begins Christian Bale one, but more so as it progressively went on, I hated the fighting technique they had Batman doing. I hated it. And when Affleck, on the other hand, the way they represented the power, the savageness, the brutality. Like this is what I expect from
BVS
Batman.
scene in that warehouse. Oh my god!
They should have locked Batman. Should have went to jail for that,
bro.
Batman should have went to jail for that.
That's one of the things that reignited that whole Batman absolutely kills people.
Yeah.
Because in that scene, 17 of them died. There's nothing you can say. All right, so with those two, I say I like Affleck over Bale, but I like Nolan over fucking what the fuck is his name? Snyder.
Ooh,
because what ended up happening with Affleck's Batman, it got stupid as it continued, but that was Zack Snyder's fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't Ben Affleck's performance. it was the fucking writing and the direction.
Yeah, how they made him kind of clueless.
Yeah,
and I was like,
and then they started making him more quippy.
Yeah, like,
and I'm like, but we don't. That's not what you established.
I don't want Batman to be super quippy.
Y'all literally, y'all supposed claim to fame.
That
y'all aren't MCU.
I want Terry McGinnis to be quippy.
I want Terry McGinnis must
1,000%.
be quippy. Terry McGinnis must be quippy.
Yes.
He must be. But not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, listen, it's a reason why.
Not this old grizzled Batman that they were displaying with Ben Affleck.
Who they killed his Robin already before we even got a chance to see him.
Before
they had
we
already
seen
killed
him.
his Robin.
What the fuck he got the joke about?
Facts. Bro, like, for me, take not necessarily the animated series, but in the Justice League Unlimited thing, there were times in there where Batman was always serious. So when he popped out something that was a little humorous, it made it seem bigger than what it worked. But if you got him doing
literally
every
Affleck to a joke machine.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And here's the thing.
You had Urza.
That's the thing.
You had Urza.
They were paired together, and that's when the shit started. No, you use that as a contrast.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They tried to make them more similar, and I'm like, what are you?
It was a buddy cop film,
right? It turned into their scenes together turned into a buddy cop film.
Brother cop,
yeah,
right.
For sure.
It's like from that scene where they meet, and he throws the batarang.
Yeah,
and Bruce
they get in the car.
I'm like,
and remember they get in the car. It's like, wait a minute,
what are your superpowers?
I'm rich.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Damn it.
Like, yeah, like what? But again, I don't blame that on Affleck.
No,
because we saw, basically a whole movie of him knocking that shit out the park.
Facts.
As bad as BVS was as a movie, they got Batman.
They got Batman right.
So you're saying not you. I'm not saying you're saying this. I'm just saying the proverbial you out there. What if we swap Affleck and Bale in their kind of classic roles? Do you think Affleck would have done well with Heath Ledger? Because I feel like there is a
that's interesting.
We about to get on some
role. Incredible was that he was playing off of someone like.
We about to get on some multiverse theory right now.
Very shit as an actor. So.
It depends. What are my parameters? Are we talking out of time? Because I don't think Affleck back then would have. No, I don't. Absolutely not. I think the more experienced Ben Affleck,
that's a good point,
would have absolutely worked.
You got, yeah.
Oh yeah, without question. I don't think it's a conversation. And the reason I say that is, look what Taika did with Christian Bale. Christian Bale is capable of putting in what is for him a stinker.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't have any more hope that Snyder would have done anything good with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I wonder if
now. Say again.
I wonder if he was approached.
That's a good question.
Maybe not, because think about it. Affleck was still trying to wipe the stink of Daredevil off.
Yeah.
No. Let me clarify. I wonder if he was approached for the new Flash. Because I saw the bike from the Dark Knight. In that
got you.
I wonder if he was approached.
I said the same thing. When you see that clip in the trailer, that is the Dark Knight motorcycle.
Right. With Zack Snyder gone, I don't know if I would have an issue with him being in this new universe in some way, shape, or form.
Hold up. What if George Clooney is?
Listen to me clearly. Listen to me clearly. I don't need bat nipples.
You don't need
I don't need bat nipples. So I'm gonna pass on that one.
Hey, I will take an Arnold Freeze though. If they
I love Arnold
Freeze or Jim Riddler. Like I
we
know
can do that.
Yeah.
Give me a serious rated R Jim Carrey.
And also, I think he, just like Ben Affleck, has the benefit of he's way more experienced now.
Yeah.
He's much better at subtlety now.
He is, bro. He is.
He is an amazing actor now.
Yes, he's done.
Back then, he was
now.
still doing that fucking everything
Goofy.
has to be super. Yeah,
super goofy. But he's done drama now. Like he's
Yeah.
like he's an
the number
experienced actor
23.
now.
Eternal Sunshine of the
There's
Spotless
a TV
Mind.
series that he was on too, where he was doing drama on that shit.
Mhm.
My wife was watching this shit.
He
And I
did.
seen a couple
He
of
did.
screens that was like,
He did Kick Ass 2.
yo, I didn't even know it was him.
Right.
And Kick Ass 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's Jim Carrey, because they did the
Mhm.
whole prosthesis around it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't super goofy. He was goofy.
No.
He wasn't super goofy.
Is his goofiness like that's
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
they got him to be Dr.
Oh, yeah. That's what makes him marketable.
Which is a great casting because I feel like him playing Dr. Robotnik is almost as good as casting Jack Black to play Bowser.
Facts.
They just the roles like
It works.
Jamie Foxx. The
It
best
works.
role to person combo of all time, in my opinion, is Jamie Foxx to Ray.
Right.
There's never been an actor paired with a role of a character that they closely embodied like
All right.
Jamie Foxx. And
I got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's cheating?
What?
Like, I agree with you,
What?
but Jamie Foxx might be the most talented person in the world.
Definitely. 100%.
I agree. He's Prince without being Prince.
Facts.
Bruh.
Facts.
Like I just like I said, I agree with you. I kind of think that's cheating because literally Jamie can play the piano. Literally, Jamie can sing.
Yeah. As good as he can play as good as Ray Charles. Does
Right.
more people understand the magnitude?
Right.
Of his stage?
Facts.
You generally don't get somebody that can do every
All of those
aspect of a
things.
character.
Yeah.
He's a talented
Disrespectful.
motherfucker, man. He's a talented motherfucker, and his stand up was funny as fuck too.
Nigga,
Like I
wouldn't want to go up against him.
Nah, I ain't going.
I
Shit,
do the tear you apart.
bro. I seen him do this to somebody too.
yeah.
It
This
was
is
on a
your
radio
conscience.
show, bro. He took it that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Destroyed him. I don't want that.
And what's interesting is, and this is maybe a little too on the nose, but now after Chris Rock has done his special and stuff, and you're actually starting to see comics like go at each other. We're starting to see the age of like comics go at each other now.
Great.
Which is
Greg,
I
do you have
don't remember.
do you have some time on your hands?
I got probably another 20 minutes. Why? What's up?
All right, I want to start this with you here because I know what your feelings were back then.
Okay.
I kind of want to start this with you here.
Okay.
All right. So let me get all of this out to set the stage for people that aren't aware or whatever the case. It's kind of long. I'm gonna speed through it. So, for those that don't, well, we talked about it on the fucking show. This basically the majority of what we're going to be talking about is this situation between Will Smith, Chris Rock, and oddly Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
So, let's just get to the brass tacks. So,
Let's tax some brass.
about a year ago, Chris Rock and Will Smith got into a situation at the Oscars. Here are the cliff notes. Chris made a joke about Jada. Everybody laughed, including Will. Jada gave Will the look. Will got up, slapped fire out of Chris Rock. No, stop. You're not supposed to laugh. You're not supposed to laugh.
I can't help it.
This is journalistic.
Listen.
I'm not embellishing. This is journalistic.
You're a journalist. I get it.
This is journalistic. Slapped fire out of Chris. Will turned his back and walked away calmly. Chris says,
He walked away like Tupac.
no, stop.
Oh, sorry.
Chris says, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Will yells from his seat, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Chris says, I will. Will wins an Oscar and is still allowed to do his acceptance speech. He apologizes to everyone except Chris. He blames the fact that he just played the role of King Richard partly on his state of mind. All right, so now to the
hold on. Which can we add an addendum to that?
Mm-hmm.
Which what Richard was like, oh shit, hell no, we wouldn't do
Facts.
He's like, no, dude.
It's like, don't put that dirt on my name, nigga.
Was Richard in the audience when it happened?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He was there. I think him and the Williams sisters were there.
That would.
I know the Williams sisters were there, but
I think they were all there.
Yo,
that's interesting.
Because when they approached Richard about that, he was like, "Put me,
no, don't put me in that.
I ain't gonna sign that."
Nah,
Mike Turner for you, motherfuckers.
Right.
all right.
Plus Richard already got bad paperwork.
He got
on him anyway.
Terrible.
Yeah, he got so
left a whole family.
Oh, okay.
Left a whole family.
The rest of the clip notes.
Yeah. So now to the present, Chris just did he just did Netflix's first ever live stream event.
Mm-hmm.
This was on March 4th. 2 days prior, Marlon Wayans came out with a HBO Max special.
Right.
One was a special that was 90% about the slap. The other one was Chris Rock's. Now, I didn't even know Marlon had a special coming out. I found out about it on Twitter.
I didn't even know Marlon was still doing comedy.
Well,
we'll get into that too.
Yeah. I found out about it on Twitter after I saw the Chris Rock one, and boy, Twitter people got some explaining to do that they're not going to do. So I wasn't. Again, I know some of this is going to sound like my thoughts. I promise you, it's all Cliff Notes. I'm trying to get through it.
Right.
So I wasn't really a fan of Chris's special. I usually like his specials overall. This one, not so much. He's now pretty much gone full boomer. The first half was annoying and slightly boring. I fell asleep. I woke up. What I saw in the second half was much closer to what I like about Chris Rock. I went back and watched what I missed, and it confirmed it was not his greatest performance. But he spent like about 7 minutes on the slap. Here are the first two contentions that I saw for that on Twitter. Oh, he's obsessed. Why would he do a full special talking about this? The answer is he didn't. And the second thing that I saw is it's been a whole year, and he is just now talking about this. He needs to get over it. So tell me you don't know about how comedy specials work without telling me you don't know.
Exactly.
Because he literally, when you do a comedy special, you workshop it.
Yep.
When he
was doing that.
One of the reasons he was hosting the fucking Oscars is because he was currently already on tour. Right. He wasn't about to change his whole routine.
Well, he was on
talk about that.
Isn't he on the same tour still with Dave Chappelle? And
I think it's finally ended.
Oh, that's over.
I think it finally ended, like very recently.
Right.
And he was already he was already scheduled to do that tour. That tour started like a week or so after the Oscars. So he said on the shows, I'm not going to be talking about this yet.
Absolutely.
A special. I have a whole thing already written. I'm going to perform that. I'm going to talk about the slap eventually, but I'm going to get paid for that shit.
Right.
He specifically said that. All right. So again, those complaints show two things. Y'all ain't watch it, and y'all don't know how comedy specials work. In this special, Chris employed one of the tried and true methods of comedy specials, foreshadowing. I personally think Chappelle does it better than pretty much anybody I've ever seen. Specifically in this scenario, it's when you have a topic you want to talk about and you save it for the end. But throughout, the person has this motif that they keep coming back to. The ones who do it the best don't make it super obvious. The motif that Chris used was something to the effect of, I don't want another rapper mad at me. He kept saying this throughout the special. Next, before I went on Twitter, I was thinking about the petty and the get back and the business aspect of all of this. And that worked for me. Mm-hmm. Chris did the first ever Netflix live special almost on the anniversary of the incident, which is also like a week before the actual Oscars. After which he had Arsenio Hall, Yvonne Orji, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, David Spade, and Dana Carvey. Basically,
which I missed all of that. I missed
because that's not in the replay.
Right, I missed all of that.
He had, like I said, Arsenio Hall, Yvonne Orji, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, David Spade, and Dana Carvey, basically all applauding him, and some of them amplifying the jokes that he made about the Smiths within the context of who he is. This strategy, that's how you do that shit.
Yeah.
Within the context of who Chris Rock is.
Not only that, but just from a business standpoint, how to do synergy.
Yes.
Like this was very synergistic. I don't know if this was his idea or his management or whatever. Plotting out the strategy.
Of both.
Or a combination of both.
Luck.
Yeah, because also he's an experienced comedian at this point. So he knows how the business works. He's done movies. Like it's a whole bunch of shit that goes in there. So it probably was a combination of two. They put this. He squeezed out of this the best possible scenario to get money and all of that. Yeah,
it was a masterclass on how to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Then I saw two takes that I kind of felt I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of feel these takes, and under most circumstances, I would agree with these takes 100%. One was protect black women. Now the problem with that, y'all know I'm always on this, always on protect black women. The problem here is that nobody can argue in good faith that they still uphold that to the letter for somebody they feel has wronged them.
That's facts.
That's not how that fucking works.
No.
The second one was don't make slave jokes. Again, generally, 100% I'm behind that. Funny, coincidentally, I named the fucking episode Slaplash. Now, it was not a slavery joke that I was making.
No, it was backlash.
I didn't realize that until after I fucking did it.
Yeah,
it was backlash.
It was about backlash, right?
But anyway, so maybe I'm all the way alone on this one, and that's fine. But in my opinion, if you don't want to be the butt of a slavery joke, don't make slave movies. now, of course. Now listen, I need to clarify that. Now, of course, I don't feel like it's a free pass.
Right.
But I can't completely be mad at somebody defending or retaliating in this way. We often say you can't tell somebody how to get their lick back. Do I think the slave joke was too far? Yes. I didn't think the joke was funny, but I don't feel bad for Will because he made the fucking movie. No. Side note, he and Antoine Fuqua, who is the director of Emancipation, were adamant that this is not a slave movie. I saw Will make a video telling the story of one of his kids, I think it was Willow, asking him why he would put out another slave movie to the world. He responded by saying, "Baby, I would never do a slave movie." Antoine Fuqua has been going on and on in interviews about how this isn't a slave movie. Then in the same interviews talking about how the world needed to see these graphic instances of black people being tortured in order to understand how terrible it was. When they asked him why some of the scenes are so graphic. When you add all this together, a movie where the main character is a slave that displays horrific violence being inflicted upon slaves, where said main character spends a decent portion of the movie enslaved, and where the conclusion of the movie includes the abolishment of slavery, it's a fucking slave movie.
Hey, point of order, sir. This is not a gamepad controller. It's not.
Let me get through this.
Sorry.
The last take that I saw of any regularity on Twitter was about the mic drop moment. Chris said, "My mother told me never fight in front of white people." Oh, these niggas was going in.
I know.
Who cares that what white people think? He's a clown. And of course, the retroactive. Everything he's ever done is cater to and try to please white people. More on that last one later. First of all, he was born 7 months after the Civil Rights Act was passed. This is when he was born. Second, I promise you, a good deal of y'all grandparents or great-grandparents shared that same advice at some point. But also, I saw one of the people who was bashing Rock post a clip of Marlon talking about the slap. In this particular clip, Marlon said either Chris is the strongest nigga ever or the most bitch-ass motherfucker of all time. But in Marlon's special, he mentioned the not fighting in front of white people thing. He made jokes about a black woman.
He sure did.
And of course, I ain't seen none of that energy from Marlon.
No.
Selective outrage. This last part is going to take a little bit longer. So let's talk about this.
I do have about a hard stop in about 15 minutes.
Go. The floor is yours.
Oh, well, I do. I guess my initial thoughts, because I will say this, I've only seen the highlights of his stuff directed towards Will, because as a lifelong Will Smith fan, I don't think we talked about it initially, and it was kind of just our raw reaction to what happened. But I've evolved a little bit on how I see the whole situation, because in a lot of ways I have to separate my feelings towards Hollywood and the entertainment industry as a whole, and the things that they're willing to do and put on for each other for the sake of brand and that sort of stuff. I'm not saying that this was an incident, but I do see things through that lens.
Absolutely.
And then furthermore, Will Smith is a dude that I related to a lot, because he was in a lot of ways that outcast black kid who was too nerdy for the hood, and obviously, in a lot of ways was socially awkward, in those circles. Like he wasn't a gangster. He never tried to be a gangbanger or nothing like that. And so a part of me identified with Will Smith. And so if you hear in a lot of my early music, I will literally be like, I'm Compton's version of Will Smith, right?
Right.
Even to the point now where when motherfuckers will be like, hey, man, you kind of remind me of Will Smith.
Yep.
You remind me of Chris Rock.
Yo! The clap back.
It's one of those things where people will tell me like, hey, you remind me of that. And so there are mannerisms of him that I do take and I've had incorporated or assimilated into my personality. I say all of that to say this. I do believe what he did was wrong, morally wrong. Right. I do believe that what he did was reprehensible and should be condemned, right?
Right.
But there's certain aspects about it I don't agree with. Which is this narrative that I hear that if it was The Rock or Michael Jai White or anybody else making that joke, that Will Smith wouldn't have reacted that way. Every man has a breaking point. I don't care who it is. Every man has a breaking point. You don't know what that is. You might say something sly about that man's wife, about that man's kids, about that man's parents, whatever. And that just might be the day.
Yeah,
that might be the day.
That's facts.
That might be the day. Michael Jai White, whoever it is telling that joke, it just might be your ticket pulled that day.
Yeah.
You got to prove all the stuff that you've been talking. Now, again, I don't condone. I don't try to glorify what he did. But again, these are Hollywood people doing Hollywood things. I don't know where their line is. In my neighborhood, if you say the wrong word,
that's it for you.
A person is liable to kill you over that.
It's up.
Right? So obviously they aren't in the hood, and I'm not saying that's okay. But what I'm saying is that every situation and circumstance has rules and guidelines that if you break or violate those rules and guidelines, there are certain consequences that come with that. And we are still playing the game of nature, not the game of society.
Right.
Hollywood does a good job of dressing this shit up to make it seem like we're playing the game of society.
Right.
But in reality, these are still animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All still animals. And there are lines, territorial lines that it's like, if you come near my food I'm eating, I'm going to react like an animal. If you come near my wife or my children or my parents or the way I make money, hey, I'm going to react like an animal. Right. And I feel like that was one of Will's, because Will has been the butt of jokes in culture for a long time. Let's be real here.
Yep.
Will Smith had been the butt of jokes in hip hop. They let, for all these people who talking about Eminem is only top 5 because he's white. Y'all sure let Eminem make fun of Will Smith though, didn't you?
They had no problem with it.
They had no problem with it. With Eminem whipping the shit out of Will Smith because he wasn't gangster.
Yep.
Eminem was trying to be a gangster.
That's a fact.
Right.
Remember that?
That's a fact.
That's
a fact.
So it's like we also can't have the selective outrage about when people's breaking points are.
Yeah.
And ultimately, while I don't condone and I don't approve of what Will did, I feel like that was an example of someone reaching the breaking point in the public place and it going down.
Yeah.
And Chris is entitled to say whatever he wants to say.
That is the part.
He's the one that
No, that's the part. That's real quick. That's the part that I'm like,
everything about your public life I possibly can.
Bruh, that's the part that confuses the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Because like, even if you agree with what Will said, I don't understand you having an issue with the retaliation being
He the one that got smacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He got the dog shit slapped out of him
in front of
on national TV.
Which is another point, like to add to what Graydon said about these are Hollywood people doing Hollywood things. And what I saw was regular people with regular jobs commenting on some of this shit and bigging it up. Like that's some shit that all of us should be doing. I saw certain women get online saying, yeah, because that's what I want my man to do for me. Then you want your man put under the jail.
Bruh.
Because see, here's the thing.
But hold on. Let's not even go that far. Let's not even go as far as jail. If Will Smith gets up there, smacks the absolute shit, emphasizing that, out of Chris Rock, and let's say he's permanently banned from the Academy, permanently banned from SAG, can never make another dollar in Hollywood again.
He's still
He will be fine.
Yeah, he's still
his kids will be fine.
Yeah.
His grandkids will be fine.
Yeah.
If Ray Ray walked to the front of Walgreens and smacked the shit out of Biff, it's a little different.
It's different because consequences and because you're not. It's not the same. It's not the same hustle.
Well,
and I always tell guys,
the same as you losing your job.
Facts. And I tell these guys, any woman you saw get online and say that, that's a red flag. Stay away from her. Facts. Because one thing I've noticed about I've been with my wife for 14 years. There's been times when my wife saved me from myself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Saved me from those natural impulses that were grafted onto me from my experience as a kid living in them areas, right? There's times she's preventing me. No, you're not going out there to do that.
Just because
that's something that your people, like I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about people you consider your person. You're one of my people.
Yes.
That's something that they should be able to do for you.
Yes, 100%. And any woman that's running around talking about that's in front of cameras, in front of literally you are doing the prosecutor's work for them.
Right.
You're doing the prosecutor. Stop it. Any woman that says that that's some stuff that she would expect her man to go and do in front of these cameras, because there's different ways. Look, I like you said, I ain't gonna tell nobody what to be mad at. Y'all can be mad at what the fuck you want to be mad at, right? But there's a way to handle certain shit. Now you can't tell me you couldn't have called this man afterwards and then slap.
Yo, you know what's funny?
Say you still want to slap, right? Slap the shit out of him where it's just a rumor. Oh, the rumor is,
or there might have been some found footage.
I got a comparable story. Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J.
That's it.
Bro.
Here's what you don't hear. Jamie Foxx
shit is legend to this day.
Yes.
Here's what you don't hear. Jamie Foxx just got punked.
Right.
Jamie Foxx got smacked on.
Right.
Jamie Cool J got into a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
It don't matter that LL was big hulking. LL
didn't mean nothing.
Nobody care about that. I'm a man, you a man. I'm gonna get this in, and if you win, hey, that's cool. So if that happens backstage, and I catch you backstage, if I'm Chris Rock, I'm firing on your ass.
Facts.
Yo, you know what's funny about that? We was talking about this last night, and I was like, yo, Chris Rock has never displayed himself as any type of fighter, tough guy. But if Tony and them was there,
listen, let me tell you something. Everybody talk about how many people the Wayans family has in there,
bruh.
Chris Rock's he had a lot of brothers.
That's why I was remember when I first asked you guys, where were Chris Rock's people?
Right.
Because
they weren't there that night.
But they never made it out of that building that
night.
They would have came and put their hands on y'all or some shit like that where you couldn't get to them. I'm gonna get to him first.
Facts.
Yo,
they would have been waiting backstage.
Yeah, some of them Rock brothers. Some of them Rock brothers, real niggas. I'm just saying. Some of the Rock brothers, real niggas. Like, all right, yeah, all right.
But to SPJ's point though, I think Chris Rock was well within his right to retaliate.
I agree.
And we have to look at specifically how he retaliated. He didn't retaliate with just words. He retaliated in the language of business.
That's a fact.
Yeah, facts.
This is how you retaliate. Do it in the language of business. How much money?
You gonna slap me on this? I'm about to make 40 million off it.
No, 40. That's on the low end, brother. That's on the low end. He's gonna make 400 million. He's gonna make 40 million.
Right.
Facts. Every nigga that meme of him, the meme. Will got the meme forever, but Chris Rock gonna make that money off that slap for.
And guess what? He also built an economy off that slap because here comes Marlon.
Yep.
Marlon did a whole. Yep. Marlon Wayans did a whole.
Marlon's entire special was about the slap.
entire thing. Like, yo, he created an economy around your slap. So he had to eat the jokes, and he still gonna eat the jokes because every time we mention the slap, we gonna say he slapped the
absolute.
He still went, but guess what?
The 8-bit, the 16-bit,
he slapped the pookie out that nigga.
Every square inch of palm hit his face. But here's the thing about all of that though. It's a lot easier to take those jokes when you got $400 million in the bank and you're off the coast of some island country and shit on your yacht, like
sipping on fruity drinks with an umbrella.
I'm still a little numb.
Yo, one of the funniest jokes from the special.
Oh, 1 second. This is the equivalent of somebody like acting like they got hit by a car and milking that shit for the insurance.
Bruh, facts. Yo, one of the funniest jokes from that special was like, people asking me, did it hurt? Nigga, it still hurt.
I like when he was like, he trained to play Ali. He said, I trained to be a crackhead. Or what he said.
Yeah, he was spooky. Yeah, right. He a crackhead.
He was right about that, though.
Like, yo.
Will get trained to be a boxer.
Right.
And he's an action star. So he's been in plenty of movies where he had to train to get the shit right. And even though it's mostly choreography, you still have to get your muscles right. You have to get the form right. You got to do all of that shit right to make that a believable scene, to make it look like your ass can fight. Eddie Murphy said that one time years ago. He said, I can get in the movie and act, and you'll swear I'm a fighting motherfucker. Right? Like, yeah.
But and here's you bring up the God's name, right? Eddie Murphy. And I think about Charlie, and if that, like, would Will Smith have even considered walking up on that stage knowing that Charlie was in the building? Knowing that if he put his hands on Eddie, that he would have probably died that night.
Let me tell you, bro.
You know, there are some people within these families, bro, that don't come from entertainment. Tony Rock, they don't come from like shit. They actually are still connected to certain lifestyles where they can make a phone call. Like, hey, you're still in that city, right? You're still working in LA, right? I still got people in LA. I can pick up the phone and call. Don't play with your life like that,
bro. No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There are certain friends of mine that I have not introduced to the GU community,
right?
Because
same way.
Nah,
like you still gangbangers.
I'm just saying, bro. Like motherfuckers don't really get the face of the person that's up there, that's the celebrity, that's getting all the accolades and the money and exposure, that never, depending on where they come from, there is a whole, it's like a fucking iceberg. So they're the tip of it. There's all this shit underneath, behind that they left in their hometown, family members.
On the phone. What up, my guy?
Yo.
What it be like, yo?
How you doing?
Do I need headphones?
Nah.
So far, we don't hear no feedback, so.
Good to me.
Word.
All right, let me get into this next point. So I saw this TikToker make this video. It's obvious she was young. I when I say young, I mean younger than me.
Right.
I don't necessarily think she a baby or nothing like that, but she was younger than me. She made a video talking about Chris Rock's situation, talking about, and I've seen this on Twitter too, Chris Rock's audience has always been all white people, and that his most famous this is what this TikToker specifically said. This TikToker specifically said his most famous joke is a joke where he compared NIGGAS to NIGG. No. She said his famous joke is where he compared NIGGAS to NIGGERs in front of nothing but white people. This is what she said. Let's fix some of this revisionist.
That's revisionist.
So, Bring the Pain was his first comedy special. Bring the Pain is the special that the niggas versus black people, joke was in.
BJ, just point of order real quick. Is that the same one where he released it on CD and went platinum? Like that was the same one where it was like in 2000, right?
I don't remember. No, this was in 96.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This was in 96. So right. Now we're talking about the argument is that he made this joke. Now I'm not gonna play the joke because it's too long, but the argument is he made this joke that about the niggas versus niggers, which is not exactly at all what the fuck it was. It was niggas versus black people. It was a at its core, it was respectability politics, but it was kind of acceptable respectability politics, like whatever. But here's the thing. I'll just show you. In front of nothing but white people is the argument.
I remember that audience being.
Look at these people. Look,
yeah, I remember that audience.
There's a couple pieces of salt.
You're silly.
In the pepper, but I'm sorry, that doesn't.
That's CGI. That's CGI.
Practical effects right there.
I'm pulling out right now.
That doesn't classify as nothing but white people. But hold on, there's more. There's more. And on side note, in that special, we came out to Foxy Brown and Case song, "Touch Me, Tease Me." So there's his next special was called "Bigger and Blacker," and in that special, he came out to Slick Rick and Doggy Fresh's The Show, and here's what that audience of nothing but white people looks like. This is at the Apollo Theater, by the way. Nothing but white people. Nothing but white people.
Revisionist history, bro.
Nothing but white people.
Revisionist history.
So much bigger than
again. There's a couple pieces of salt in the pepper, but
some dough mixed in with the chocolate chips.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wait,
Okay.
let me look at like that video. Yeah, that's just doctor, dog. Fuck you talking about.
All right. So now this is a very important point. Another thing that people were saying, another piece of revisionist history is that Chris Rock hasn't been relevant since Head of State. The movie Head of State came out in 2003.
Oh, they're bugging.
Everything else I'm about to bring up happened after 2003. Okay, so his next HBO special, mind you, these are HBO specials.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. His next HBO special was titled Never Scared. Never Scared. Let's see what this group of all white people looks like. Oh, interesting. All white people. Nothing but white people.
But that's Chris' brother.
That's a white plane. White plane.
Oh, it's white plane. You're right. White plane. True shit. You got me on that one, Eddie.
Yo,
White
Lincoln is
white
white, yo.
monument.
Lincoln
The whitest white man of all time.
White shirt.
You're right. Oh, but there's a couple white people in the
Whoa,
back.
it's three right there. Four, maybe.
There's 4 white people in the back. Okay.
Multiplied by 100.
Man, this shit right here is in black and white.
Oh, white. Oh, the Senate. White.
Just nothing but white people.
She's light skinned.
Kind of.
Nothing but white people. Absolutely nothing but white people. Mind you, this special, he came out to Nas's Made You Look.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is definitely one of white people's favorite songs.
Exactly.
I mean, clearly.
I hear them both at Starbucks all the time.
White people singing it every year on Christmas.
Christmas. It's a Christmas song now.
Now, there are more white people in this crowd. Absolutely. Because the fucking crowd is so much bigger than any other crowd he's been in front of to this point. Okay. All right.
And they're in DC, but whatever.
Then, facts. Absolutely facts. It was in fucking DC. All right, facts. Then
DC Chocolate City. A lot of them
back
people
then
came from the surrounding county. Yeah, it was Chocolate City back then.
Right.
A lot of them come from the surrounding counties that go into DC the same way they do with baseball.
Cindy says she saw a white towel being waved around. All right. And the last video, well, I think it's 2 videos. The next special that he did was Kill the Messenger. Mm-hmm. Again, remember, the person couple people saying he hasn't been relevant since Head of State came out.
Right.
Head of State came out in 2003. Kill the Messenger came out in 2008. Kill the Messenger was the biggest comedy tour of all time at the point that it was filmed. It was filmed in the special was filmed in Johannesburg, New York, and London. He came out to the song Duffel Bag Boy by Lil Wayne and Player Circle. Player Circle containing one half of Player Circle being Titty Boy, who is now known as 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
So let me see which video is that. Is this one? No, it's not that one. It's this one. Nothing but white people. Nothing but white people. Just nothing. It's a damn shame. I ain't seen not one black person.
The cap.
Were they throwing up gang signs?
Yes. All of them. All of them.
Jesus.
Again, nothing. That's the London picture, and that's not all white people. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
It's niggas in London, B.
Bruh.
They in there.
Bruh, we like,
Did that say
listen.
South Africa?
Yeah, he did it in Johannesburg, London, and New York. That particular special. Now, you cannot like somebody.
Yes.
You can absolutely not like somebody. You can have valid reasons for not. You can have invalid reasons for not liking somebody.
Right.
But let's not change the facts. Let's not act like
facts don't matter. These 2023 facts don't matter.
Right. Clearly, like what the fuck are y'all talking about? Now, if you
It's the era of revisionist history,
bruh, if you're young enough that this Kill the Messenger was the first Chris Rock special you saw, I can see you thinking that his audience is mostly white because again. There are a bunch of white people in South Africa. There are a bunch of white people.
For real?
So yes, I can understand maybe, and it's still a reach because you saw the fucking.
It's
crowd.
a reach. Yeah, it's still.
You saw the crowd.
It's
still a reach.
Still a Fantastic Four. A Plastic Man type.
Not relevant after 2003. When in 2008 he had literally the biggest comedy special of all time to that point.
It's cat B, and they do this shit. But see, you know what? We in that era. We in the era of erase the history and come up with whatever narrative fits my current argument, which may not be the same narrative I was pushing just 5 years ago,
bro.
It won't be the same narrative I push it right here, Max. Like that's where we at now, bro. That's where we at.
And like I said, I wasn't particularly a fan of this special.
Right.
It was.
But you don't have to lie, Craig.
Yeah. You don't have to make Craig. Shit up.
You don't have
and here's the thing about it. Y'all making that shit up because y'all like Jada. Not because y'all like Will.
Facts. That's the other thing.
That's not because y'all like Will. Y'all making that shit up because y'all like Jada. Which is
can I just say one other thing too about that? About the whole selective outrage thing. First of all of us select outrage at a certain point.
Absolutely.
All of us. We decide what we're going to be. Yeah. I don't like that. So,
Right.
But for the things that Jada has been put in the public eye for currently, it ain't been none of her work.
Right.
It's all been this personal shit behind the scenes. I got to say to you, I don't give a fuck what other little ancillary details you add to this. If you place Will in Jada's pumps and Will sleeps with Willow's friend, this conversation is completely different. It's completely different.
Yeah.
And we gotta keep it real enough to say that shit, bro. Some of us are gonna keep the same energy with it. I think as a parent, I think that shit is out of line.
Right.
I'm gonna keep real. Like, that's your son's homeboy.
Yeah.
No, B, we not doing that. We not doing that. It's weird.
That's weird.
You're weird.
Is it?
You're weird.
weird shit right there.
You're weird.
Bruh. That's some of that Hollywood conspiracy shit that motherfuckers be talking about.
Yeah.
Yo, fam, that's for real.
It's like, listen, there's some shit go on in them hills you don't want to know about.
Right.
The hills have eyes, motherfucker. The hills have eyes.
That's really weird. Like,
you're weird for that.
Really weird.
But
I'm
the
sorry.
I
level,
want to play that
but the
song
level
now.
of defense I'll be seeing. And listen, Jada don't got to defend herself to me. I don't know her. Just because she come from my hometown, just because my baby mama went to school with her, that don't mean I know her, right?
Which
she don't know me.
That's
nothing.
I was this old when I learned that Jada was from Baltimore.
Yeah.
I just found that out.
That's literally in my baby.
That's where her and Tupac met here.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that shit was a flex that Chris Rock did it in B more.
Yeah, bro. That's in my the mother of my child's mom's house. There's a picture, a school, a class picture, elementary school class picture. Is my daughter's mother. Couple of rows down, Jada, in the same class.
You know what's funny about that? Remember I told you my brother like knew Tupac?
Yeah.
So he probably fucking knew Jada too.
Yeah. It was inseparable. It's inseparable.
Yeah. So it's like, all right.
Oh, my producer, Sean, my former older producer, Sean Black, he lived on the same block of Greenmount Avenue, 3939 Greenmount Avenue. That's 3900 block. That's where Pac lived. Right there. I performed, recorded in the same studio. He recorded Brenda's Got a Baby, Black Cat Studio.
Right. And that's the video. That's the video that my brother's in. Is Brenda's Got a Baby. And it's like, can y'all chill?
No, they can't, and they won't.
Can y'all be mad at the real stuff that?
No.
Why are you doing this?
No, my bad.
Remember when Addy used to?
You're making the mistake of putting
y'all
too
gonna
much
stop
faith
playing
into
with me?
you.
Right. I used to say to him, no, they not.
Yeah.
No, they not. Yo, they never. It will never stop.
The same way I asked y'all, damn, I want people to stop playing with me. Y'all say no. It's not gonna happen.
It's never
gonna happen.
No.
It's annoying.
It is annoying. The revision, and it's like you said, you don't have to do this to justify your dislike. Use some real shit.
Bruh. He sat on this fucking biggest platform he's probably ever had because again, Netflix live, blah 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 blah. First live stream ever. He sat on what is close.
So you had to tune in to see it on Netflix?
No. You could tune in to see it. It was a whole thing. It was a pre-show, it was a post-show, and it was the special. But it's now up for stream.
Yeah, because I already watched.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah. But it was not up there.
So it wasn't that you miss it if you didn't.
You didn't get to see the post show, and you didn't get to see the pre-show.
The pre-show, right?
Yeah.
So
which I'm mad about.
Yeah, I get it. It's not a situation where like he didn't say these things. He said these things on a very big platform.
Yes, he did.
And if you don't like the things that he said, that's perfectly fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Right. Be mad at the things that he said about a person that you're a fan of.
But stop making shit up. Stop making shit up.
Like what? And the other part of this goes to also being young. If one of the first exposures you had to Chris Rock was that video of him with Jerry Seinfeld and fucking
oh yeah.
Then you see how a narrative starts to get crafted.
Right.
He was wrong for the bullshit in the video. He was absolutely dead ass wrong.
Seinfeld was that nigga.
Seinfeld was like, well, I don't see a reason to ever say it. I don't think.
Yeah, he said, I don't find the humor in it, and I don't seek it. And I don't seek it. And he gave him that wry look like, I just stomped all over y'all with this right.
Not only that, Seinfeld said he doesn't want to see the humor in that shit.
Right. That's what he said. I was like, I don't want to see the humor. I don't find the humor in it, and I don't seek it.
Right.
That's well said right there.
Those are bars.
Chris sitting there looking stupid as fuck.
Look crazy. He looked crazy right there.
What the fuck are you talking about, sir? You've changed.
But again, be mad at that. Be mad at something that's demonstrable that we have.
Right.
Like, y'all coming up with this shit that he's only performed in front of. So have none of you watched Def Comedy Jam?
Bruh.
Have none of you watched? Stop it, B. Stop it.
You never seen?
Apparently they haven't.
You think that everybody hates Chris got as big as it did because it's just white people?
Come on, bro.
Nah.
Come on.
All
Like,
of the black tropes, all the black tropes.
Bruh.
Like, come on, man, stop it.
What are we talking about?
Stop it.
You're making shit
Even
up.
Everybody Hates Chris was a big thing. Like,
Nigga, I just said that.
said.
Can you not hear us? Because you've been repeating us.
I barely can.
Put on headphones, Joe. I think that will help you out.
Need
because you've been repeating us for the last.
Can't.
What happened?
No, I just can't. I can't put on headphones.
Okay, but yeah, like there's demonstrable things that are evidential.
Yeah,
like these videos.
Yeah,
but then there are anecdotal things that you can pretty much extrapolate, like the other things that he's.
I have a question. I have a question. An exception. Is it okay for them to say those are AI deepfake videos and they put the black people in the
Here's
audience.
Here's the thing.
Already said that.
Eddie said that.
Oh,
for the Kill the Messenger videos, I'll accept that.
Oh.
For the older videos, those grainy ass non-HD, nah, nigga, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. For the HD Kill the Messenger joint from the 3 different countries, yeah, all right, I can accept that. 100%.
I mean, if they put people on the moon back in the day, like, why not?
Shut the fuck up, yo.
Yo, I hate this nigga, yo. I swear, I hate this nigga.
No, I'm just saying, we gotta hear both sides, though.
No, I hate this nigga.
But yeah, no, not for that grainy ass 360p.
360, that's 240. That shit 240p.
not for that shit, dog. Ain't no fucking editing been done to that shit.
That shit great. That shit grainy as a motherfucker. Shit is fucked up in the game, yo.
I fucking hate people, yo. Like, I don't understand. All right, so back to the emancipation thing, because I skipped it. Another part of this.
Hey, before you go into this, I just want to do respectfully bow out. I didn't reach my heart.
Okay, brother.
Say thank you guys so much for having me on your show. You guys are fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
Addie, I know you came late, but you're always awesome. I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your show. I will
peace.
Peace.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Peace.
So this back to the emancipation shit. It's not a slave movie, right?
Yeah,
Emancipation producer called out for showing off the photo of an enslaved man at the premiere.
Was it the one with his back cut? That's the character.
That's the character. Yeah,
I saw that picture back when I was in fucking senior high school.
Right. Joey McFarlane, the producer on Antoine Fuqua's Emancipation, apparently did not think through the ramifications of showing off the original 1863 scourged back photo of an enslaved man at the film's LA premiere Wednesday. It gets worse. McFarlane proudly discussed the historical photo of the man whose story inspired Emancipation with a red carpet reporter from Variety. He said, "This is the original photograph from 1863. And I wanted it to be here tonight. I wanted a piece of Peter to be here tonight. Sadly to say, so many artifacts and photographs have not been preserved or curated or respected, and I took it upon myself to curate and build a collection for future generations." A photo was taken when Peter was being fitted for a uniform after running 80 miles to join the Union Army in Baton Rouge. Peter had run away from the Louisiana plantation where he was enslaved. He was recovering from a horrific beating delivered by an overseer. McFarlane, who was white, said that he has been collecting for a very long time and that he intends for his collection of photos to be donated for educational purposes when he dies. He says, "For me, my love of history, my love of truth, my love of larger than life individuals that had an impact on not just some people's lives, but the world, it's worth fighting for. It's worth preserving. It's worth seeking out and protecting. That's what I sought to do. And the story that came out of that, it transcends entertainment. It transcends cinema. It's a lesson. It is a conversation that needs to start and continue and keep growing and evolving." McFarlane was also the producer on Wolf of Wall Street and Daddy's Home, and said it was important to reckon with the past so that future generations don't repeat the same mistakes. His Instagram account displays a number of photographs from what he calls the McFarlane collection. "I'm really excited about discovering and acquiring these incredibly rare and important photographs from the Civil War era. Please note, My collection is for historical preservation, education, and storytelling. Some commenters praise his efforts. That's wild. Happy you understand the importance of them, while others were not buying this motive. This is such a stark example of white savior complex. Who are you to think that you are the best person to preserve this particular piece of Black history? And that you walk around showing them off like baseball cards is even more problematic. Here's the follow-up to that article. He apologizes for bringing the photo of an enslaved man. He apologizes for bringing the photo of an enslaved man to the premiere. He has apologized for bringing the original photo. In a statement shared on Instagram, he addressed the criticism he received for carrying and speaking to Variety about the image. And of course, he disabled the comment section. He says, I wholeheartedly apologize to everyone I have offended by bringing a photograph of Peter to the Emancipation premiere. My intent was to honor this remarkable man and to remind the general public that his image not only brought about change in 1863, but still resonates and promotes today. Well, hold on. After uncovering Peter's origin story with help of diligent historians, I spent the last few years working with the Emancipation creative team in order to bring his story to life so worldwide audiences would have an opportunity to appreciate his heroism. I hope my actions don't distract from the film's message, Peter's story, and just how much impact he had on the world. So to answer your question, legend had it, yes. Okay. Legend has it that photo was... Seeing that photo was relatively helpful in bolstering the union's
recruitment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, but everything has fucking context.
Yes.
In the context of back then, if you are a person that lived in the North and had never been around a plantation, it is absolutely possible and believable and understandable for you to not necessarily believe that it was as bad as they say it is.
I will say there were slaves up north as well.
No, absolutely.
There's a whole slave graveyard they found.
Oh, absolutely.
New York,
right.
Years back.
I'm specifically talking about the places where there weren't plantations of slaves.
Right.
Then yes, it makes sense back when media was what it was. When it
was literally
right. It was
this is telegraphs, bro. This ain't what we have now.
Right.
It don't even resemble what they
not even
it don't even resemble that shit.
So back then, and given what the legend says that the effect actually was, that makes sense for back then.
Yes, it does.
We don't need that shit now.
No, we don't.
You don't honor somebody by showing them at their weakest point.
No.
So I do have a couple of questions about that though. So it is a good question to ask. Who said you was the one that was supposed to go around here?
Bruh.
Who said that? But there is
nobody asked.
There is another question that I have to ask because I don't really know the answer to it. Who else was doing it?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Because there's an argument on that other side of it that says all these people that's complaining, were you about that work of preserving these things so that they didn't just disappear?
Right.
Because we're living in a day and time right now where motherfuckers are trying to suppress what happened back then and trying to go make another generation of children grow up without that information, to understand context, to understand that this country did not just spring out of nowhere where everybody was equal and treated fair and all that other shit, right? I don't know the answer to this question. I'm not saying they weren't. I'm saying who else was tasked with this to preserve these things? Because they out here banning books again. They banning books again. So that's the one thing I would say. The other thing, I don't ever have to see another.
That part. That's why I was not as mad as I normally would have been at that joke that Chris made.
Yeah.
Because you made a fucking slave movie. What the fuck are we talking about? And you were so adamant that it was not a slave movie.
Even though it was a slave movie.
Bruh.
Excuse me, y'all. This is not a podcast.
Bruh, like what?
This isn't even a finger. Like, what are we talking about?
You're pissing on people and telling them it's raining. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about? It's absolutely a fucking slave movie. Shut up, Eddie. It's absolutely a slave movie. Like, there's not even...
And that's a turnoff. That comes off as scammy to me. That comes off as scammy. Like, you want to shoot a slave movie. You want all the credit for what you think you're bringing to the historical record by presenting it in this presentation. But then you want to say, it's not a slave movie.
Right.
Even though slaves in it. It was around the slave era.
Right.
Even though the guy that the movie is focused on is primarily known for being slaves. But you're saying
again, the resolution of the movie is the abolition of slavery.
Slavery, yeah. Like this is 100% a slave.
Fuck are y'all talking about?
Yo, you can. I call Glory a slave movie, and that don't have as much. There's other things. There's a Civil War. There's all the things in there. This is all. How is this not?
Yeah. Yo, here's the thing. My categorization of what I consider a slave movie has expanded over the years. Mm-hmm. Like I consider The Help. I consider that a slave movie. Me too. But I didn't need to fucking expand anything for this particular movie. Like what the fuck? It's absolutely a slave movie.
You're not stretching.
No.
To say that. As a matter of fact, you are the equivalent of a man in a small box with his hands around his knees. Like you are not stretching at all.
No Bengay needs to be applied.
No.
It's like what? No. What? When I saw that video from Will, where he said he told Willow, "I would never do a slave movie." Sir,
see, this is it's the cap. Yo, see, it's the cap for me.
Say a lot of things.
It's the cap for me. It's like, yo, y'all. I get it. We say it on the short time. People dumb. Y'all really think y'all not even as y'all worse than us to do that. To say that this is a slave movie when it has all the trappings of a slave movie and tell people this shit with a straight face. You think people are more stupid than we did.
Bro.
You have to.
You have to get whipped. Like,
bro, but you know what? Here's the sad part. There are going to be people out there that say, no, it's not because he said it wasn't. Will said he'd never do a slave. So this is obviously not a slave. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
That's how I wanted it to work.
Yo, everybody does. Everybody would like to say.
I saw that video. I was like, okay, maybe it's not.
No,
I said I'd never make YouTube videos.
Right.
I made YouTube videos.
Right.
Like the fuck.
Can we spin the block just a bit more on Marlon's stand-up?
No. We're gonna talk about them in depth. I just wanted to get the general shit out of the way.
Yes,
particularly because
you was about to owe me the 5.
No, nigga, I wanted to get the general shit out of the way so that Greg could give us.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he had the best.
No, I guess.
Shut
up. No, but you still was gonna owe me the 5 though.
Hold up, wait. I'm trying to. Is that? Nah, I can't find the video that I'm looking for. I was trying, but here's an adjacent video. I think I haven't listened to.
I feel like Marlon did. I saw Marlon in the interview.
Wait, hold on. Let me do this. This is is this right? I think this is right. Yes.
Was younger, but
this isn't the one I was talking about. But
right.
Story. But now after researching Peter, and he's become a man in my heart and in my mind, and now all of those lashes have stories behind them. It was a horrific time in American history. And I think Antoine has masterfully put you back into the heart of what that experience must have been for Peter. For years, I've never wanted to work in the genre. I didn't want to depict, African Americans in that way. But when I read this screenplay, I saw that it wasn't a slavery film. It was a freedom film. It was a film about endurance and love and faith and family. It was a film about a man who believed so much in God that he was able to endure the unendurable. As an actor,
shit like this is why I start to not like Will Smith.
Yes.
100%. I am a fan of Will Smith. I don't just think he's okay. No, I'm a fan of Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Shit like that. It's not a slavery movie. It's a film. Yeah. It's a movie of freedom and endurance. And
freedom from what? Stop. Freedom from what? Freedom from what? Tell me in my Loki voice in the first Thor movie. Tell me. Freedom from what?
Yo, every fucking movie about slavery is a movie about endurance. Because they had to endure.
That's literally a central theme in slavery.
Oh,
freedom!
Imagine that.
The fuck.
Now I'm like Eddie. Stop fucking playing with me,
yo.
Seriously,
like,
though. Seriously.
That's yo, somebody said. I think it was Eddie. Eddie. It was like, yo, he that's a rich man right there. Facts.
Yeah.
That nigga made
he's so disconnected from the shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to the shit.
Oh my God. Ooh. Yo, fam, I was gonna. So James hit me up, right? He was like, "Oh, watch these two things." I'm like, "Oh fuck." So I watched the Chris Rock one. I'm like, "All right, that shit's mid. All right, whatever." But boy, when I watched the Marlon one, because I thought he wanted me to watch the one that said wokish.
Yeah, nah, not that one.
So I was thinking it was on some shit like, "Oh, James is doing the thing," like, "Oh, he stole Marlon's jokes or some shit like that." So then he told me what the correct one was, the one on HBO, and I watched it. He was like, "Oh, it's just about the slap." I'm like, "Oh." I was thinking it was only gonna be like 10 minutes about the slap.
Nah, nigga. I told that joke when I was explaining it. I said, Chris Rock did a special 2 days before. Marlon did a special. One of these specials was 90% about the slap. The other one was Chris Rock's.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I also feel like I saw Marlon on the Breakfast Club this morning before the show.
I watched that too.
He did to this stand-up with the guy that did the Emancipation movie did with that.
That's funny.
He said something was what it was.
That's funny. He spun the hell out of that shit, dog.
This is more.
Turn that shit off.
That's why I named it God Loves Me. This was more about my nigga. No,
nah, nigga.
You happen to be the connecting thread.
That's it.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
He did it great.
This was the fun. I typically do not like Marlon Wayans stand-up shit that I've seen. This was the funniest one that I have ever seen him do.
I think there's a good reason for that, though. I think.
Oh, he talked about it, and he talked about
he's
a
baby. Yeah, that's part of it. No, what I mean is he's a baby in stand-up.
Oh yeah,
he does not have the experience.
Well, no, one of the reasons he doesn't have the experience is because he quit for 20 years. That's why, nigga. You don't have experience because he quit for 20 fucking years.
Listen, for 20 years, though.
What I will say to you is, I thought it was very good the way he weaved the first part of that, bro, where he weaved Chris Rock as being the catalyst, as literally this was like a villain story. Yo, I thought that shit was dope. And if y'all haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
Yeah,
go check it out.
Okay,
I thought that part was
spoilers.
Dope.
We doing spoilers, right?
Yeah, because we know what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about the slap. Yeah, it's about the slap.
So, did y'all catch when he said the shit about Pookie?
Which is
with the Rock thing?
When he said that that Will trained to play Ali. He trained to play a crackhead. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing about Rock was like, yeah, it's for me. You get it? Like it was like a double.
Yes.
Because Chris Rock and Rock.
Rappers. Yes, we understand. Yes, we understand.
Yeah, but that shit had me dying, dog.
Hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Like,
the part that I was dead at was when he said Chris Rock walked up to them when he was trying to holler at that girl.
Yeah.
And he had the Jerry curl and shit. And then he did Chris Rock's voice and the facial expression.
He nailed that.
He nailed it. Yeah, and then he walked away with the girl.
He said with his yellow eyes.
Listen.
Yo.
And then when he cute the yellow eyes, and then when he capped it off with his stand up, and Chris Rock was in the front row saying that shit to him.
That's supposed to be funny? Well, Wayne, where the jokes at?
Tito.
What's your name? Tito Wayans? I'm like, yo,
nigga.
You are a bastard. You are a bastard.
Damn.
And it made that nigga quit for 20 years.
20 years, dog. How would nigga make you quit something for 20 years?
You know what?
Dog?
That reminds like.
I mean, 50 did it to Josh, so
imagine you rap, right? You start your first time out rapping, and you finally did your first early. You did a live performance, a talent show. It ain't even nothing like super big and shit. And you get up there, motherfucker, and you get slammed.
Like, boo this man.
And you decide that's it for me in rap. I ain't even
not
listening to rap no more.
Not only that, the nigga took a role from him. Like, fam.
Yo,
I
basically, Chris was doing them like this. Rib cage, that's that role, that's mine. Right. Solar plexus, that's the girl. And then the jaw, that was the heckling.
Nigga, like, I'll take your cookies.
He three-pieced him, yo. And he knocked him out for 20 years.
Nigga.
Damn.
That's wild.
He heckled you out of stand-up, yo. Literally.
Now, then he got him out of getting laid. Like, shit. Like, I'd be mad too.
He wasn't gonna get laid by that girl.
He wasn't, but Shorty was like, what did he say? He said, I'm gonna marry you.
Yeah. Yo, that girl was playing with him. I just seen that when I was a kid. I would try to holler at these older. They be doing that same bullshit.
Shorty was like, nigga, I'm 19. I'll rock your world.
Fuck your ass up in there.
Real. Fuck your life up, boy.
Oh God. You better grow up.
If anything, Chris helped him.
Sure, that's true.
I mean, yeah,
actually, all around.
All around.
Except for I'm gonna get you sucking thing.
But here's the thing.
That didn't help with Marlon at all.
The
other two, yes.
Yeah, that didn't help. But what I would say is there's a fine line between it being unintentional help. Because don't. Chris ain't, listen.
There's
it
no way.
wasn't a look.
There's no way he said, I'm going to groom this young man.
Right.
Nah, he was just an asshole. Nigga, he was just an asshole. Right. That's all that was.
Now, to be fair, I would believe
the heckling
that was his idea of tough love.
Yeah,
I would believe
probably was that.
But I wouldn't believe this incident is going to make him the greatest comedian ever. No. Fuck no.
Look, I walked away with the girl he had accused that he was crushing on, and I took his role all to make them all in a. No, that's not what happened, nigga. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I did have I had some misgivings.
Okay.
I didn't like Marlon basically did that bullshit where he blamed all black people for what Will did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's whack. We not doing that. Black people, we got to do better. What the fuck? I didn't smack this.
I smacked nobody on national TV.
Yeah. Now I didn't smack mine and my fair share, but I ain't do that in front of no cameras and a host of fucking witnesses. Mm-hmm. I didn't do the prosecutor's work for them.
Right.
Fuck is you talking about? And I hate that narrative because
it's not comparative to anything.
It's not Yo, it's one thing to say that there are people out here that are always going to judge black people by their worst example.
Correct.
It's quite a different thing to say, to then pass the blame onto all the rest of us that was simply either home watching or saw the clip.
Right.
See, y'all, this y'all fault, y'all, because we got to do. No, Will got to do better. For the record.
Hold on. We missed this comment. McKenna said, is he saying it's not a slave story because it was a script that actually humanized an enslaved person, like every enslaved person in history was a real person? I would argue that no. I don't.
I think this is what she's saying. She's like, because that don't make sense because every enslaved person
there's nothing,
a real person.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no thing that he could have said to me if that was the movie that he produced. That's going to be like, okay, I can see why you said.
Let me ask you a question. What was for this director too? When he watches this, because he will eventually watch this.
Oh, okay.
Was Roots a slave movie? You motherfucker! Did they or did they not humanize Kunta Kinte, Kizzy, even Chicken George?
This is why you don't meet your heroes. Again, Antoine Fuqua is not a hero of mine,
right?
But this motherfucker is the guy who gave us Training Day.
Wow.
Which is a great movie. I absolutely love.
Now, if he came out and said that Training Day wasn't a slave movie, I would agree with him.
Yo, no, but this is like him saying Training Day wasn't a cop movie.
Right. Right.
You see, because we were subverting what it means to be a cop. Shut the fuck up. It's a cop movie.
Like what? Subvert these nuts. Nobody trying to hit it. Nobody trying to hit it.
Like this is his jacket before this fucking movie. The Replacement Killers, Bait, Training Day, Tears of the Sun, King Arthur, Shooter, Brooklyn's Finest, Olympus Has Fallen, The Equalizer, Southpaw, Magnificent Seven, Equalizer 2, Infinite, The Guilty, Bullet Train he produced, he didn't direct. And the Equalizer 3 is coming out. But Emancipation is 1000% a slave movie.
Nigga, the name of the movie. How are we doing
That's what I was gonna say earlier, dog.
Nigga. Listen.
It's in the name. It's in the name.
Stop playing with me.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, so we could just.
What are we talking about?
Combo,
the name of the movie is Emancipation, and it ends with the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yo, he gonna stop playing with me, yo. Wait, what?
Independence Day wasn't about 4th of July. Okay.
But at least that was clever. At least it was a double entendre.
I mean, yeah, but still.
But it definitely was still about.
It was about aliens. It was about an alien invasion. It was literally the Dark Forest scenario.
Right.
What it was.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. This guy, he named it Emancipation.
Nah, it's cool. Tell him, don't trip.
Ali is not a boxing movie.
No, it's not. It's not, nigga.
Ali's not a boxing movie. No.
It's not.
It's a story about a person who, transcended boxing.
I got exactly what you were saying, dude.
No, absolutely, McKenna. I wasn't responding to you. I was responding to that potential fucking scapegoat.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can say.
All of the enslaved people were actual people, y'all.
Right.
I don't know what
every single one.
Every single one. I don't know.
Hey, yo. Passion of the Christ wasn't about Jesus.
It was about passion.
Exactly. Of Christ.
It's about passion. See, that's how y'all get it fucked up.
Oh my God.
It was actually about passion fruit, the drink.
Yeah,
delicious.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I really like. So when he went and crafted his whole spiel to sell this movie, he didn't see it hurt.
All right, so
contradictions and this shit. Fuck out of here.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. What year was this movie based in? Let's start there. Shit.
I mean,
I just, Crush Groove wasn't about hip hop, y'all. Stop it. Fuck out of here, nigga.
Funny. That's
porn's not about sex.
So okay. Here's the fucking interview he did, Antoine Fuqua, about the movie.
Antoine, fuck that.
He did this with Vanity Fair. They asked him, since the deaths of George Floyd and Eric Garner and the Black Lives Matter movement, there have been a lot of conversations about how to depict and whether we should depict trauma and violence against Black people, specifically Black men, on screen. Many people believe we should shy away from it. Yet with emancipation, you've gone in the opposite direction. Why did you depict brutality perpetrated against Black men? His answer, well, first, I respect everyone's opinion. You know, when that is the first fucking words out of somebody's mouth, they about to peddle some bullshit.
Yeah. So, I don't like the framing of the. I don't want to see that with black women were equally beaten the shit out of. As a matter of fact,
hold on.
The skeleton they found up there in New York was a woman's skeleton that was bent over.
I understand your point, but I absolutely understand why it was framed the way it was framed.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see what happened to Breonna as we didn't see that. We didn't see what happened to Sandra Bland. We didn't see. We saw what happened to Philando. We saw what happened to George Floyd.
McKenna said it's about pizza delivery. But I was speaking specifically about slavery because
but what the question is framed around, it's using the violence as the connective point. It's not focusing on the slavery. It's saying in this day and age, we've seen so many videos of Black men being killed. Right? Why would you do a movie with a Black man being tortured? And his answer. Well, first, I respect everyone's opinion. I really do. It's an emotional conversation because it hurts. We all witness these things way too often on the news. The brutality against a lot of people in the world, Black people in particular in our country, Black men being shot down by police constantly. Also the violence. Here's where it gets stupid as fuck. I wanted to, when I read this the first time,
I wanted to go through the article and go,
bro, prepare yourself. Because you just laughed, but you're not about to be.
You don't know that.
Also, the violence against each other.
Man.
See, this.
Man. I'm tired of that.
You want to know what really scuffs my Timbs?
Just that.
Y'all can't, for the life of y'all, stick to the point.
At all.
You literally made a movie that showed the systemic abuse of Black people.
Yes.
And you had to throw in, well, what about Black
bro?
You had to.
But the thing is, how is that relevant for a movie?
It's
that was
not relevant, bro.
Back then,
it's not.
No, Eddie, not even that.
No. I mean, I'm just saying.
How is it relevant to the question that was asked? We didn't see that.
I mean, period, though. But
we didn't see
even with that movie. All right.
So he says the only thing I can try to do is tell stories that I think could be inspiring in some way, but remind us of our history, because there is a responsibility. We are citizens of the United States of America, and that's the same country that kidnapped us and forced labor and brutalized us with violence for greed. So I don't think we can forget that. I don't think we go about it with bitterness. We should go about it with an open heart. We should go about it hoping to have conversations about it and try to start some sort of healing about it.
I can't.
If we keep brushing it under the rug, there's a chance of things happening again, as we see in the world. Neo-Nazis are saying things about Jews again. We're going to allow history to repeat itself just so we feel good at night. There's a great saying that courage only matters when everything's on the line, and sometimes that means being uncomfortable. I hear people walking around saying, "What up, king? What up, queen?" We were kings and queens in Africa, but also slaves. You can't forget that history. There's no modern world without us. Rome had slaves. America had slaves. Spain had slaves. It's part of the world we live in. You have to look at that and tell stories about these things and try to find a new way in, which I hope we did.
Did he just?
Yes, he did. He's just all countries. He's just all countries mattered.
Yep.
Yo, I listen. I gotta say, there's pieces of banana in the shit, right?
So yeah, and here's the thing about it. I like this answer not because I like the answer. I like this answer because it shows, it establishes something that I often push is nuance and context.
Right.
Because you can absolutely be right about some things. You can absolutely.
And exactly. He's right about, I don't want that shit swept under the rug either. Because we see what's happening.
But a for-profit movie,
come on, bro,
isn't necessarily the best way to go about it.
And that's the thing that bothers me when these motherfuckers, these self-important ass directors and shit that think that their way of presenting this is the optimal way, and this is how we got to go. That's not necessarily the case. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is, you know, I would love for more information about the difference between chattel slavery and the other forms of slavery that took place around the world. This is the thing that I hate too, this argument that kind of sits into this space with that. I've heard people literally come out of their face saying, and it has to be, to humans' credit, it hasn't been a lot of people that I've heard say this, but I've seen them say, what if slavery was just a necessary evil for us to have the United States the way it is?
Oh, yeah.
And I say, you're a piece of shit, because here's why. And here's why. There's no reality, no world where you're going to convince me that the raping of our men, women, and children of my community was a necessary evil. Fuck you all day, every day for saying that.
And here's the thing.
That just sounds selfish.
Well,
the people who say that are benefited.
Right, but here's the thing. That's that answer is the answer that I would give to anybody who said that to me personally.
Yeah.
But if I was in a debate, the answer that I would give is we would not have known what we were missing. We were not in a situation where we were where we got. It wasn't something we were striving for. We weren't looking for that life.
We wasn't looking, first of all, we wasn't looking to leave. This is the thing I be telling motherfuckers all the time. This whole idea that we should be somehow grateful because at least we're in America.
A better life.
Do you know how stupid you sound?
That's from your perspective.
That's what they weren't looking to leave.
No,
they weren't looking to leave. They were having a good time.
They were content.
There were wars amongst them, the same way there were wars amongst the early Europeans. It was no different. If you go to South America, to a lot of the tribes in ancient South America, they fought each other. Native American tribes, they fought each other. This is a common thing globally and back in those days. And the shit's still happening now. That shit is common. They wasn't looking to leave.
No.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's why I don't like when they bring that shit up, because they don't bring it up when it comes to shit like what the Romans did. Like they capture white people. What they do? Throw them in the Colosseum.
Right.
They don't fight for their lives.
Well, at least they got to be living in the Roman. Back then, the Romans were the equivalent of the United States. It was the greatest nation on earth at the time. Yeah. So at least they got to live there. Fuck out of here.
Right.
Talking about quality of life,
that's
motherfucker.
What I mean.
Do you think quality of life is living in the projects? You son of a bitch.
Yo, quality of life only matters when you have something to overcome.
Facts.
That's why we call the whole joke centered around it. First world issues.
Yeah.
It's the reason that we say first world issues. Yeah. It's because we happen to have this this frame of reference that something better is existing.
This is also why the banning of books concerning history is even more dangerous in the city. It's because what it does
allow fuckers like this
to tell the story like this. And here's the thing. There's this perception of how those early Africans were. That's just not true. It's propaganda. The perception was they were these savage people, didn't know shit, couldn't do. They had whole governments. They had all of that shit over there. They had lives,
languages, dialects. They had pastimes.
Right.
Come on now.
They had lives. What they wanted to seek to do, because this is what they did back then. Dehumanize these people so that the other people don't have as much of an issue with their treatment. And this is what they're trying to do again.
It's funny. I put out Did I put it out? I ain't put it out. I've recorded. It's going to be out sometime this weekend. The deeper dive for Scandal, and one of the core themes that was talked about in there was erasure because of colorblind theory.
Right.
Colorblind theory is just a fancy word for erasure. It's the idea that I want to ignore the things that are different about you so that I can tolerate you.
Yeah. Facts. Also, McKenna, facts. McKenna says the decimation of so many tribes, cultures, languages, both in the Americas and Africa. Not to mention, there were countries in Africa more advanced in things like medicine.
That's a
Europe.
fact.
How far back was women's health care set back by
Bruh,
things like this?
because Africa in general was not as patriarchal as Europe was.
Yes.
That's a fact. That's all true. That's all. Oh, Cindy, it'll be out this weekend sometime. I will personally send it to you because I know you were talking about some of your issues that you had with Scandal. Okay, so the next question was they said, I appreciate that because you can't really you can't say fuck you in an interview. So they left it at I appreciate that. Some have argued that we don't need any more slave narratives. There's an argument that seeing violence perpetuated against slaves as entertainment will only promote more violence. He said, well, I'm just a filmmaker. Okay.
You can't keep doing that. Okay. You can't keep going back and forth. In one moment, I am preserving this, and I've done this, and this movie can do this, and then the next moment, I'm just a filmmaker.
I don't know what I'm just a filmmaker. I don't know what it does. What I do know is that I don't think the killing of George Floyd had anything to do with a movie. That brutality on a people is passed down in generations, the ugliness, the pain that doesn't just go away. As a filmmaker, I wasn't out looking for a slave movie. I never saw Emancipation as a slave movie. I wrote Sacred Motivation on the top of my script because it was something more spiritual for me and for Will. It was a story about triumph. I used to sit with Will and the writer, and we'd go through the script with the producers and everyone. I remember saying, let's take out anything that says Peter's afraid. What fear? Fear of man? What can man do to you? They've already treated you like an animal, less than an animal. Living as a slave is death. What he had was he was free in the mind. His body was a slave, but his mind was free. His heart was free. His spirit was free. He was free to love. He was free to be unselfish, to help other people. He was free to inspire. That's cute and all.
Yo, he slipped and fell.
This is not Hurricane.
He slipped and fell into the lap of a slave movie. Like, first of all I hate those platitudes with everything, because these are the platitudes that they give us in exchange for actual physical freedom, physical wealth, physical information and education. But you're free. These platitudes are always given to us in lieu of all the other things that everybody else value. People value being able to go where they want, eat when they want, go to sleep when they want, do what they want. People value that shit. It's literally one of the things in this country that you see them brag about the most.
Right.
Yep.
They took all of those.
Oh shit. He battlefield removed himself. No, he's gone. He battlefield removed himself. I don't know what the fuck happened. His computer cut off. I don't know what the fuck happened. But he's back. Kinda.
No, they got
you battlefield removed yourself.
They got mad at me. They got mad
That's
at
funny.
me.
That's funny.
Look,
he knows too much.
They took all of those things away from our community, period. Facts. And then say, well, at least you got freedom of your mind. You're free to love. You're free to. If you don't miss me with that bullshit, I want freedom to generate generational wealth.
He was a slave in body, but he was free in his mind. Okay.
You got him on face with that bullshit. I'm not trying to hear that.
I saw his back.
Nigga, you know who those platitudes are good for? Those platitudes are good for a motherfucker that actually committed a heinous crime and he got locked up for the rest of his life because he actually did something to warrant being in that situation.
Here's the thing. I don't even think it's good for that. I think it's good for like people who like work 9 to 5s. Like I think that's the only place where it's really effective as a platitude.
I know you're at the job. I know you're at this job.
Right.
Sun up to sundown. But
Right,
you don't have to
right.
be there mentally.
Exactly. I think that's the only place where it actually works. So one of the because I'm not doing this whole interview, but another part of it is he says, as a black man who saw the film, this is the interviewer. As a black man who saw the film, it was physically painful to watch because of the violence and trauma. Thinking about what my ancestors and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents went through and how much time has passed and how little time has passed. How do you want people to feel as they watch the film? Antoine says, I understand. I remember hearing the quote. It may have been by Angelou that said, not knowing is painful, knowing is even more painful. It's hard for you to watch because you know it's true. You know your ancestors really went through that. So for you, it's even harder. But it's necessary because you can't forget the level of brutality that human beings are willing to go through for money, greed. You watch things now. You watch Trump and the whole circus. What do you think that's about? Power and money, power and money. You've got children dying, being shot up at schools, and you're going to tell me you can't do anything about guns. Me and Will and Ben Foster, we had long conversations about the truth. It was always about trying to find a way to be inspiring and showing people that you can make it through anything. Don't ever let anybody break you, take your faith, your spirit. Okay, hold on. This particular part, he was doing good. He was doing so good. He was doing so good with this answer. He was, until he said, don't ever let anybody break you, take your faith or your spirit away from you. Here's the thing. This is a remix of Couldn't Have Been Me.
Yeah. That's all it is.
It's a remix of that.
That's all it is.
Fuck you mean let?
I swear I hate that framing with a passion, and these type of folks keep doing it.
Bruh.
They keep doing it. Fuck you mean let?
The worst part about it is I absolutely 100% believe it's well-intentioned.
Yeah, that's the
problem. The worst part about it.
That's the problem, though. The fact that
It's
it's well-intentioned. Well, the reason that's
it's not helpful at all, Ed.
It's not helpful, and also it shows a lack of awareness and just how ingrained those negative tropes are, where we think we're saying something that's uplifting and we're actually saying something that's A, insulting to the people, and B, not helpful, because when you say don't let them do it, you're basically assigning blame to the people. See, if you just hadn't let them do it, and you are not that far of a leap from slavery was a choice.
Bro,
you're not a far leap from that, but you know what you're right next to?
What's that?
How do we stop slavery? Stop
Right.
talking about it.
Stop talking about it.
Thanks.
If you just stop thinking about how much racism has a whole society, it won't hurt you as much. It only affects you if you let it.
By the way, thanks for that, Morgan.
Right.
Mr. Freeman, thanks.
And Idris.
Thanks for that. Because
Idris.
after you and Idris, but Morgan said it first,
Right.
and he is who I heard numerous people outside of our community quoting.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Morgan. Thanks.
They use him like they do MLK.
Bruh. Yo, it's literally what he says next. You have to have a purpose, and you have to be on the righteous path of love and unselfish love. That's the key to me. That's what the movie is really about. You can't purpose yourself
out of the situation,
out of things that you can't control.
Can you imagine this, bro? The system is like a 50-ton anvil. When it's on you, you can't will it to be lighter. You can't will it to get the fuck up off you. You can't even will yourself to be stronger to lift this 50 tons up. You're just crushed. You're just crushed. And this is how they act as if there was all the things that we could have did, we did do. We protested. Motherfuckers ran away. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things we could do, we did do. It did not stop the lack of access. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I think a lot of people, they kind of get the game fucked up. The lack of access, when it's systemic, means there are literal laws and apparatus in place to make it so you can't engage with everything else that everybody else that's considered a citizen can. Right. Once it goes past the legal part, this is the main part people have problems with. When they change the law, people say, well, that's it.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
That's not how that
You
works.
dingleberry. That's not how that works.
People don't change.
The people don't change. Malcolm X said you can't legislate love.
Bruh.
You can't legislate love.
Facts. Yo, also, I just thought about this. If I have two identical vases and I'm holding them at the same height and I drop them on the ground, they're going to break, but they won't break the same.
Right.
When this statement ignores that some of those people that we're talking about that ran away, that fought back, wasn't because they had some crazy resolve. It's because they were broken in the particular way that nothing else mattered.
Facts.
Like, yes,
that is a great observation.
Obviously, some were broken in the way that, okay, I'm just going to stay here. Yes, of course. But
the ones of them that ran away were also broken, though.
Bruh.
They were also broken.
Come on.
Because you, listen, look, one thing I know about life.
That's a great point.
Nobody gets out alive. Right? So, nobody gets out alive. All of them were going through similar things, and different things about them was being broken. So even the ones of them that ran away and did these great things still were broken. And this includes your Frederick Douglasses, your Harriet Tubmans, all the people that y'all look at and we look at and say these are great people because they are. But that does not separate that they had trauma. They didn't. It wasn't this. It was huge Herculean result.
Right.
Nah.
But what the catalyst was the trauma.
Absolutely.
That was the catalyst.
Absolutely.
And y'all can't keep making it out to be, it's just the rest of them was just too damn lazy and
we're
not doing that. We're not doing that.
They may have happened to break differently.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even if you want to use an example of, I don't know any famous ones, but even if you want to use an example of one who was
Jonathan caught that.
Even if you want to use the example of someone who was bucking since they were a kid, they still have the trauma of seeing their parents, their brothers and sisters,
their friends,
and other people that look like them.
Come
on.
There's no way you're going to sit and tell me with a straight face. Because listen, I think this is the reason why when these people go and want to have their weddings at these plantations and all of shit like that, you look at them and go, see, this just goes to show you the level of perception differences, right?
Yeah.
Because for y'all, this plantation thing is a charming thing with the flowers going on. But to black people, to a lot of black people, and particularly to the people that was living on that plantation at that time, it was a house of horrors.
Yeah.
It was a house of fucking horrors where at any moment you could be either just tragically abused or murdered at any moment. And to be clear with all of you, all them deaths were murders.
Oh,
yeah.
They were all murders.
Yeah.
They were all murders.
If someone happened to die because they were starved to death, they were murdered.
Yeah.
If someone happened to die because
in a situation.
Right, because they broke something while working, that was a murder.
Yeah.
Because the work they were doing was literally.
and by all rights, they shouldn't have been in that situation in the first fucking place to have even experienced that. They were all, so we're talking about kidnapping, human trafficking, and murder, rape, and all those other vices. So to the enslaved Africans that was in there, this is a house of horrors. This ain't nothing beautiful. Fuck is you talking about?
Yeah. And they justify it by semantics. Okay, they aren't citizens. They aren't people. So it's not actually illegal. Right.
And I see that same shit happening now when people talk. A lot of people talk about back then, because the moment I would have said that's all murder, they would have been go, well, legally, see, you're doing the same thing they was doing.
You just reminded
me. They do the same thing with immigrants.
Yes. You just did something that reminded me of something that pissed me the fuck off. I saw I can't remember if it was a movie or a book about Sally Fields and Thomas Jefferson.
You mean Sally Hemings?
Yes, Sally Hemings.
I'm about to say, because I like Sally Field. I thought she was a good actress.
No, nigga, no, that was just a slip of the tongue. Yeah. And they were talking about, because we know
that was rape.
We know these things, but everybody doesn't necessarily know
that's rape.
Or think about it that way. And it was a Twitter thread talking about the reality behind it and how she was actually his wife's half sister, and she was also a child.
Yes, so he's a pedophile.
And she was also a slave. Yeah. Like simultaneously, all these things were true. So he was engaging in intercourse, which is rape.
Yes.
In this case, with someone / thing, because if we're talking about the time,
right,
that he owned, was his family,
yes,
and was a child.
He was an overall piece of shit,
right?
And this is the reason, like I said, fuck your heroes.
But somebody came on the post. Somebody came on the post.
I bet they look like us.
Yes, and said something to the effect of, "Yeah, it's amazing and baffling how you guys get outraged by things that were done in the context of a different time with different laws and different morality."
Yo, I hate people, yo. I swear I hate people.
Nah, nigga.
I swear I hate people, yo. Like, so that those laws mean something to you. You're that enamored with the system, this place, and that history that you're willing to forego the humanity of it by talking about a bunch of rules and laws made by people with agendas. So if they make a law right now where it's okay for them to do all that same shit to your ass and your family, your friends, would you then shrug your shoulders and say, well, it was the law? Shut the fuck up, you fucking coon. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Putin made law. Putin got a lot of laws over there in Russia. He got a lot of laws over there. You gonna shrug your shoulders about when people tell you, I don't like it. I lived over there for a while. It was ass. You gonna shrug your shoulders? Oh, that was the law then.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Yo, I swear, if we going off of just what the law is, then why are we criticizing Kim Jong-un?
Right.
For the way he has a society.
Right.
These are the laws, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Y'all put up
any country that has laws that we disagree with. Like,
the fact is laws change. Laws can change. And they have changed on numerous occasions. They've been abolished, they've been banned, and new laws get created. This is not something that's built in stone.
Wait, the thing about that is
it could be
there's usually a reason why the law is changed.
Yes.
Whenever a law is changed to be more progressive, it's because there was something wrong with the original law.
Something wrong with the original law, and also there were people that were willing to do things to bring the light how flawed the law is.
Yep.
And eventually convince people to abolish it. That's why that happens.
Yeah, because something happened where that law went too far.
Basically what that dude did, that dude mixed that which is moral with that which is legal.
Right.
You see this happen all the time. And again, this is about what you as an individual value. That's how I look at it. So I'm looking at him like, so to you, if some guys that never even met you, that you have never had a conversation with, never been able to debate the merits or the value of your humanity to them, decides to make a law that dehumanizes you, and because they have the power and they are in an elected position, you just need to shrug your shoulders over that shit. Why get mad over it? It's the law.
All right, so we're going to do this again. So my response to them was no response because I'm not even,
hell no.
But if I was in a debate, all right, let's work with your logic. The 13th Amendment makes slavery still possible through the jail system.
Yes.
Right.
If an inmate is caught having sex with another inmate, they are punished because an inmate cannot give consent.
Right.
So it is modern day slavery.
Yes.
Which is what we were talking about, slavery.
Yes.
And the slave can't give consent.
Right. So it's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Same goddamn thing. And
if a guard is caught having sex with an inmate, that guard is gone.
Yeah, because the inmate can't get consent.
An inmate can't give
basically
consent,
which means the inmate is owned by the state. Right. You get what that means? He has no autonomy of his own.
Correct.
That's slavery. That's slavery. He has no autonomy.
Like, bro,
and we've seen just how well, the prison system in this country has worked out, haven't we? It's great, bro. It's awesome,
bro.
It's awesome.
It's like
it's awesome. It's one of these things where people tend to, when they think something can't be related back to them, they have a whole different perspective on it. Until you forge the connection, because people are selfish.
Yeah.
So when you forge the connection, like, as long as they agree to it, right? And I want you to as long as they agree to it, and there's a law that dehumanizes you, you're good with it because it's the law. And also, you mentioned time as if time is a construct that has anything to do with this.
Right.
It really doesn't. Because again, just because something happened a long time ago doesn't mean that what happened was right. People's attitudes about it might be different, and you can make an argument about attitudes. But I would also argue that the people, the enslavers, their attitudes about it were no more valuable than the enslaved.
Yeah, facts.
They wanted them They wanted them to be enslaved. The enslaved wanted to be free.
Facts.
Why do you believe the attitude of the enslaver is the priority attitude?
The deciding factor is
power.
Right.
That's the deciding factor. Power.
Because people love to bow down to authority.
And that's the other big point too. A great Jotunheim runt once said, "You were made to be ruled."
Facts. Here's the thing. There's a completely different scenario where you can't change something,
right?
And it happens to be the law or the rule.
Yeah.
Then you just willingly bending
facts
to what the powers that be are saying.
And this is the thing that's crazy about that too. You're bending in the one place where you don't need to, in your mind.
Right.
Because they can physically force you to do certain shit.
Absolutely.
You can be physically forced to do certain shit. But in your mind, nobody can force you to accept that that's just. The fact that guy got on that thread, no one's forcing him to do any of those things. But in his mind, he's already accepted that was just because of time and law.
Yep.
So much so that you came on there to defend the indefensible in a community that is perfectly in their right to be outraged about that sort of treatment, which by the way, some of it is still happening. Go to Libya. After they got rid of Gaddafi, there's actual chattel slavery happening right now over there in Libya that very few people are talking about with Black Africans.
Right.
This is happening right now. Arabs enslaving Black Africans right now. Right now. So when I hear them talk time, I laugh. I laugh at that shit. What the fuck do you mean time? It has nothing to do with time. It has to do with the attitudes of the people. That's what it has to do with, because those same attitudes are not restricted to the 1800s. Those same attitudes are not restricted to the 1700s. People can have those same attitudes right now. Right now. So stop bringing up time like that all of a sudden justifies some shit.
Yeah.
Because it don't.
I'm out of here. I'm just...
We've had those same type of discussions when we was heavy into like debating Christians and Muslims and shit. You know what I mean? It's just sad that like it pours over in real life too. I mean, yeah, that's just real life. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's shit that affects us outside of religion shit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why
it's the same arguments.
When I did that song, My Stand it was about that very point. You can't point at religious people who you might think is less, some religious people you might think is less critically thinking than yourself, and act as if that shit don't happen over. 100%, it 100% does. It happened, and I've seen it. It's demonstrable. You know what I'm saying? So like, again, some things ain't about what we made it about. Some things is about people. It's
nigga.
People with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And again, time don't have nothing to do with none of that shit. It was a different time. So in another minute, it'll be a different time.
Yeah, I was about to say yesterday was a different time.
Yeah, what the fuck does that got anything to do with it? It's about the attitudes of the people.
Yep.
And how much they know and how and what they've learned to accept over the years. Right. So again, in this modern day time, if you're getting on the thread defending Thomas Jefferson, that bullshit.
The
you know
people's attitude don't change. The time doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, you're still defending that type of shit.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Like, give me 1 second and we can wrap that up. I gotta bring something in.
Okay. So I just wanted to, if you guys aren't I kind of want to wait for him to get back because I want to disappoint him too. Like if you guys aren't disappointed enough, I have
more disappointments.
I have a little cherry to put on top of the bullshit of the day, and it's sad. It's really sad. I wish life was better than this. And one of the first sentence that you see on this article is, "We didn't see this one coming."
That's funny.
And yeah, it's damn, I need him to be back here.
You know what they say about the ones that you don't see coming?
Bruh.
They hurt the most.
Bruh. Like there's debate as that it's actually true though, because
you're gonna be all right though?
I mean physically. Huh?
You gonna be all right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't personal.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it's not personal. I am very disappointed though. I haven't even engaged in the person we're about to talk about. I haven't even engaged in any of their work. It's just that the person is, you would like to think that they were a little bit of a better person than this.
Oh, see, that's the problem. Right there.
Right.
That's what you get for thinking.
Like I said, you would like to think. I would like to think that everybody that does anything that I like can be a decent person. I would like to think that.
But we come to find that that's not true. Bruh. Especially 90% of the time, fam.
Bruh, it's like clockwork. These motherfuckers come out the woodwork with some.
The thing is, it'd be so disappointing, especially since we in our 30s now, so we've already went through the whole spiel of getting, what's the word? Upset, not upset, but disappointed by our heroes.
Yeah.
But then still, we have some that we still they ain't got caught up in nothing.
Right. Luckily.
And then they get caught up in something.
And then they get caught up in some shit. All right, so Tim, you're back. I wanted to wait for you to get back so you could be disappointed with everybody else. All right.
Oh, before you say that, when I went outside to bring that stuff in, the first thing I noticed was there's a shit ton of birds running their fucking beaks.
This is the Corbett's?
No, they're the regular little brown common bird, right?
Maybe the Corbett's sent them.
They out there bumping their beaks. They loud as shit out there. And all I kept thinking about was, you know what? When my mans was here, we ain't had none of that.
That's funny.
That's on
my yard, bro.
Facts.
On my yard with that shit.
All right.
Love.
Brace yourself.
Now you're just gonna make him even angrier.
Do y'all know who Alice Walker is?
Yes, she's an author.
I don't.
She wrote The Color Purple.
She did.
Okay.
Color Purple author Alice Walker defends J.K. Rowling's transphobia.
Yep, I saw that. I saw it this week.
The Color Purple author Alice Walker is taking the defensive when it comes to controversial Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. Walker, once best known for her novel The Color Purple, has more recently been known for supporting anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and is now joining in on the turf conspiracy theories, saying that J.K. Rowling is right and trans people exist because we use the word guy in a gender-neutral way.
Jesus.
Walker did all of this in an essay on her website where she chimed in on the new podcast, The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. Early in the essay, she compares Rowling being criticized for her well-documented transphobia and anti-Semitism to gay people being burned alive. She says, the women who were burned were sometimes bound atop a pile of kindling, and that was also human, called faggots, and that's a part of why the British had their
bundle of sticks.
Term,
it's different. Part of why there is it's different.
Cigarettes. That's why. That's part of why. That's right. But she said that's where the slur derives from. She writes immediately before talking about Rowling as a modern. She's saying that J.K. Rowling is a modern victim of witch hunts. She then writes that there is no right witch to burn, and that by attacking Rowling, we are falling victim to a sinister movement to erase the word woman from language. Then
I want to see what J.K. Rowling's net worth is to see if she's being,
I was, notice where my mind went. I was like, she's been. How many women that them women that got burnt up in Salem, Massachusetts, and all the marrieds
was billionaires
back then? How many of them?
Not 238 million.
She's being pillared, bro. She's being pillared in the court of public opinion. It is not the same thing, and y'all need to stop with that bullshit.
Stop that, real. It's so annoying.
Then she goes full turf, implying that gender-neutral language is responsible for gender confusion in children.
Who's confused?
The use of
always be asking
guy.
That, Eddie.
Right. The use of guy for both, this is a quote, the use of guy for both male and female eroded the ability of children to easily feel confident in which gender they were.
That is
that confusion,
dumbest thing I have ever heard.
From that confusion.
Okay, my guy.
From that confusion, considered irrelevant, apparently, to the forming of young minds, has come much cutting off of parts and restructuring of essential physical equipment, Walker wrote. If such restructuring is freely chosen at 18 or 20, at least there is a sense the person involved. By the way, that's what usually happens.
That's also a lie, too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No. I'm saying, her part, she said, if it's freely chosen at 18, that's what usually
that's what's happening.
That's how that works.
You can't. They're not gonna.
You can't just do that.
No, you can't. No.
Yeah. Okay. Then at least there's a sense of the person involved may have lived long enough to know definitely what is desired. Younger than that, I feel there may in fact be reason later on to mourn and weep. After all, the human body is a miracle of whatever sex. Tampering with a miracle is unlikely to serve us. Now hold up, wait. I just had to thought. First time I ever thought about it in life, because I don't tend to dabble in reading these kind of thoughts. But I walk with me. The people that spit this rhetoric must be pedophiles. Hear me out. You have zero evidence. Regardless of if it's happening or not, we know it's not, but regardless of if it's happening or not, you would have zero evidence to know that a child has had their private parts changed.
Right.
You trying to find out?
Yes.
Right.
Because that's right. That's weird to me. Like,
yes.
Why?
Trying to find out.
I have a quote from the great Kel Mitchell to go back on her guy statement. But it's from the 90s.
I'm
so
a
it's
dude.
kind of washed.
He's a dude.
I'm a dude.
She's a dude.
You're a dude. She's
and we're all
a
dudes.
dude. He's a dude. We're all dudes.
Yeah.
Hey.
So article continues. Unfortunately, Walker, who was once known as a great black writer and feminist who won the Pulitzer Prize for The Color Purple, has devolved into a hateful conspiracy theorist more recently. This is far from her first time courting controversy. The influential author has long held anti-Semitic views and been happy to talk about them. She stated several times that she loves and supports the writing of conspiracy theorist David Icke.
David Icke.
Okay. Who says that Jewish people are shape-shifting reptilian aliens who control the world and have enslaved humankind and keep us in constant fear to feed off of the negative energy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jeez.
I mean,
This
this is the part that I know people will do. Like what they'll say is, when you bring up the David Icke shit, this will be their way of minimizing the other shit, because they'll say, oh, she's just crazy. Trust and believe. There are people that do not believe in any of those other crazy conspiracies that still believe that other shit that she's saying. Right. So you don't necessarily have to be one of these tinfoil hat to believe me. And these are those motherfuckers y'all elected.
But here's the thing.
Y'all elected.
That's funny. But here's the thing. Let's even take that. Let's say that they're right. Yeah, she's crazy. But again, and generally we don't want to reduce mental health issues to the word crazy.
Right.
But
mental
health is not an excuse to be a piece of shit.
It's not.
It's not. It's just simply not.
It's not.
So
I'm bipolar. Spit that type of rhetoric,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, don't use the fact that she believes. And by the way, there are other people who believe in the David Icke shit that are not they don't have mental issues. At least not in the way you think.
There are also people who believe in that shit that aren't TERFs.
Exactly. Listen, I'm here to tell you right now. Some of those people that believe in a lot of that crazy shit, this has nothing to do with them having some sort of a mental health issue. What they had is at some point in their development, the way they process information, something went horribly wrong.
Stunted like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it went horribly wrong. So because of that, the cascading effects of that, by the time they get a certain age, they don't know how to process information correctly. Right. And this is a learned thing, which I always tell people. No, it's a learned thing. That's the reason why when you get older and you're more educated and you go back and you talk to people that didn't go through those stages, and they say certain things, you're like, oh, that's not true.
Right.
It's not that they're crazy. They're not crazy. They didn't go through the process to do the work to get to the point where they know that's not how you process that. That's not how you do that. And you experience this a lot.
Let me be fair. It's a hard process to go through, and not everybody wants to do
it. Absolutely.
Nobody wants to go through that.
The main point is, like, you have to question your own ideas and thoughts and feelings and shit.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do that. To be fair, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to.
Bruh.
But being the person that I am and knowing who I'm surrounded by, I have to.
Right.
I have
it's an accountability thing. But cognitive dissonance is hard to deal with.
It is.
Yeah. We all suffer from it.
Yeah, facts.
But there's a limit, though. There has to. I feel like there has to be a like, all right, you have to stop yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All your ideas are not great ideas. Like,
facts.
No, nigga.
And all of your observations are not great observations. Some of them
they're not even
are
not even correct. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, because I understand, like, perception is reality, but is it factual? Is that actually what's
your
going on?
Your perception could be skewed. Right. And instead of acknowledging the possibility of that and keeping yourself, because that's really what it is. Right. It's acknowledging the possibility that my perspective on this particular thing could be skewed.
Yeah.
Right. And as such, it could fuck with the result I get after considering this shit. Just being, that's all right now. That's all I'm asking for. I can't
it's a simple question.
Other shit.
Ask yourself this: anytime something pops up in your head, could I be wrong?
Yeah, it's simple as that.
And then evaluate.
Why? Or the other question. So why do I think that's true?
Yeah,
that part too. Where did I get that from?
Because I noticed that I often engage in what I call mad asks.
Yes.
Where if something isn't connecting, I'm demanding answers from you.
Yes. Right.
Like, what the fuck am I missing? Like,
I'm missing something.
Explain this to me.
Am I bugging? Look, right. Our famous. That's our shit. Are we bugging? Am I bugging?
Right.
Yeah, because we want to know what am I missing that I'm not making the connect why you think this or y'all think this.
And that's the thing I was saying earlier. Like, that's the hard part of having ideas, because you might annoy people when you're like so strong, like, damn, I want to know, am I off?
Oh, absolutely annoys people.
But you know what? To
Yeah.
me, it's a lot less annoying than the person that's off like a motherfucker and they are adamant that they aren't. I'll take the other person asking, why did I don't see what you're saying with this. This doesn't. I'll take that over the. God damn it! I know I'm right. I've dealt with people like that. They are horrible.
Yeah. Remember Geronimo? Geronimo was just like that.
Bro, I worked when I was an assistant to the supervisor at this one place. There was a girl that worked there who swore her aunt knew everything and would always cite her aunt. And then every time she was the aunt, whatever the aunt's opinion, she said the aunt's opinion was demonstrably false and shown so, she would hide behind, look, my aunt ain't no fool.
Oh.
Dog, just like Geronimo.
What the fuck is you talking about?
Well, here's the thing. Your aunt don't have to be a fool. She just happened to be wrong about this.
Yo, your aunt
That's it.
Your aunt don't have to be a fool to be fooled.
Right. Facts.
You don't have to be a fool to be fooled.
People be like, yo, so you're telling me that this person lied to me? I said, yo,
no,
I'm not saying that they lied to you because they might think they're telling you the truth.
Yeah, they just
I'm just letting you know that they're wrong, though. You know what I'm
saying? They dead ass wrong. And I'm letting you know how completely unproductive it is for you to have taken that on face value.
Yeah,
you chose not to be. This is the thing that killed me about some of these motherfuckers too.
You effectively chose violence, nigga.
Right? Like, yo, you tell me you question everything, but you didn't question the person that told you that. This is all the shit that bothers me about when people go in on the government. Because I always say to them, yo, it is entirely possible to not trust the government. For me to not trust the government and not trust your ass too.
Right.
Facts.
Your information might be
particularly to not trust your ass more.
Right. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. You might be actually worse than the government because you don't have any intimate knowledge about a lot of the shit you're talking about where they have the money and resources to have the intimate knowledge.
You ain't got nothing under your belt to know more than scientists, doctors. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they could be lying. You could be dead wrong.
You could just be dumb.
Exactly.
They could be lying. You could just be dumb. So don't come to me. Don't use that on me. Oh, see, man, you just believe in the government. No, I'm not believing in the government. I'm also not believing you. I don't believe.
My whole thing be like, and phrasing, show me something.
Right.
Whenever you ask them to
show if you saying that this is just nail in the coffin, whatever.
Right.
You should have no problem showing me it.
Correct.
Prove it.
Show me how you came to you, which is the Socratic method. Is to not to debate the actual thing that it's to how'd you arrive.
It's not about the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah, how'd you arrive at that?
Take me on this journey with
that's where the problem is. Right. Yo, every single time I've had a conversation like that, the problem was right there. It's in how they came to that conclusion.
Yeah. That's why anytime I'm about to say something that I feel like might be potentially radical or a little out there, I use the term "walk with me."
Right.
Because I want you to go down the right.
Yeah. But damn, I hate that because like now I gotta hold your hand through this shit. Like,
sure.
That
can be annoying sometimes.
But I get why the method is. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is useful? I understand.
Right. My thing about that is it is a chore and it's trash.
Yeah.
But what I don't like, but I have to do because that's just the nature of how things work. If I'm out and about and have to go to the bathroom, I have to find a place to go. I just can't.
That's a fact.
I literally have to find a place to go. I can't just go right there. So even though it's something
you could.
No, maybe you could.
That could potentially be on the sex offenders list, my guy.
Yeah, bro. I can't do it.
I'm just saying.
Like, you can do it.
No, nigga, listen.
It's not even
me. You just smarter with yours than everybody else.
That's not a list you want to be on, my guy.
Nah, that list. There is no choice for me but to stay off that list. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be on that.
There you go. Boom.
There's no choice. There's no choice. I must stay off this list. There's no other way. This is the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. But it's annoying. Damn, I gotta find someplace to. But this is the nature of things. This is how it is with humans. Humans get these feedback loops during the process when they first get the information. In between the information and the result and the conclusion, something goes off, and you do have to walk a motherfucker through it to see where they got tangled. Like, imagine this. So back in the old cassette tape days, that cassette, that ribbon gets fucked up. You have to you gotta get to the part that's
get that pencil.
You gotta get right. You gotta get that's what it is with that. So as annoying as
but it also depends on like the person that you're talking to. Like, are they worth going through all that with?
That's true too.
Yes, no, you have to.
If I care about you, then I'm be like, yo, walk.
That's a fact, bro. Like your time is still your time, and that's not. But if you care about the person enough to walk with them to that, how they reach that conclusion, you'll do it. But if it's a motherfucker that you really don't give a fuck about, and on top of that, it's wasting your time. That's your choice.
I'll add an additional part to it. Whether they're arguing in good faith or not.
That's a big idea. Because even if it's somebody you care about, they could be arguing in bad faith. Like, and I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. You can have it, bro.
Facts.
Like at my job, like there's people that be like, oh, you think you know everything. I'm like, nah. I'm like,
no, it's that I know I don't know everything.
Fine, fuck it, yeah, I do.
I would always answer that, no, I just know more than you.
Yikes.
I am not a genius.
No.
At all,
I just know more than you.
Facts.
And it's just like, when I know you're wrong, is like, nigga, like you just
when
wrong,
I know you're wrong, and please believe it's quite often because I know more than you. Yeah, that's how you gotta hit him. That's how you gotta hit him.
I was talking about Candace always with somebody, and she was like, "Oh, she's on point with shit." I'm like,
"Oh damn!"
But she's a piece of shit though. Like that's what I was saying. Like I just say that. Well, she's a piece of shit, and then I just hate the whole. Everybody has their opinion. I'm like, yeah, but opinions can be wrong. That's why they're
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that part though? The part that you said she has her own opinion, and you stopped. You stopped right there. Why did you stop? Yeah. Because now the next question is her opinion correct?
Exactly.
And secondly, how did she form her opinion? And thirdly, did she actually form that opinion in good faith? Like does she really believe that? Right. Or is she using that to get money? Because if you look at some of her old content, she was on the other side of that and wasn't getting no traction. And then as soon as she died, I'm gonna do and then
I'm a black woman with Republican standpoints. That's where the money's at.
Cool, McKenna. I'm gonna check it out. Global estimates of modern slavery. But I think that's it for us today. We want to thank everybody. Want to thank Graydon first of all for coming on the show. Yeah, that was a fun conversation about the geek shit. Love doing the geek shit. See, it's geeks in the name of the show.
It's in the name.
Oh, it's in the names. We're gonna do that.
Is it? I thought we were Black culture geeks.
You would think that, right? Because even when Graydon came in, he was like, "Peace to the geese." Right. So that's that's possible. But we do want to thank him. We want to thank all the rest of you for coming on the show again. Another Saturday of us just doing our thing. And you guys came and supported, and that means a lot. Do not forget to check out my man Jaded Nerd's channel. We always going to promote Jaded Nerd, regardless of anything, because Jaded Nerd is multi-world. Also, do not forget to check out Chrissy's podcast, even if they don't record as often. There's old episodes you can go back and watch. You know what I'm saying? What's the name of that shit again? You remember?
Heard it through the grapevine.
Heard it through the grapevine. Okay? Complete with the California grapes and everything. So look, right?
No, not quite.
No, that's not it. No, something else.
Also the music and stuff, all that. Fuck that. SPJ got music out. I hesitate to call it. No, I only hesitate to call it music because
it's content. He has music content.
Yes.
On his Instagram. And I think, did you put it on your YouTube too?
Yeah, it's on everything.
All right, so on Instagram, it's on.
I put that on everything, like Tony Sashery.
Yes.
It's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on all the places.
Don't forget to check out the Multi-World Entertainment channel. SPJ has a new video that's going up.
The deeper dive from last week. I don't even think I mentioned it, but about the whole Idris thing, that's up. I did mention it
You
because
did
there's
mention
more
it.
stuff. There's more stuff in that video that we didn't talk about on the show.
Right.
Also, the next one about Scandal is coming out
Mhm.
sometime in the next couple of days because
Yeah.
I did not a bunch, but I did quite a few pieces of content because I'm going to be on vacation next week.
Right.
I leave Monday.
I hate that for you. So look, right.
You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. You will be fine.
Also, don't forget to check out my man Side Guys Metas and Mutants podcast. Go check that out. And of course, if you haven't already, go subscribe to the Majestic Comics YouTube channel. We're still working to get this next Kickstarter done. It's always some shit popping up at the last moment that we got to handle or deal with. But I guess this is the nature of what we're fucking doing right now. But go make sure check that. I can't wait for you guys to see this next issue. It is amazing, and we still haven't done the reveal for the cover art yet, and that will be coming probably this week. So yeah. Also, just so you guys know, we got variant covers too of the same issue. This is the first time we are doing the variant cover thing, and some of the stuff I saw is kind of dope. So be on the lookout for that. So for my man SPJ, you and my guy Adequate.
Yeah.
I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out of here.